Yes, people, and welcome back to Normski TV and the What's Going On podcast. I'm in slightly different surroundings, people. Before you do anything, please hit that like button and subscribe and share. Sorry, if you are new. Yes, I'm in a hotel room up in the Pennines in Sheffield. Just coming back from a family bereavement. So we're just coming back from the reception. So I was running a kind of little bit late, but still, the show, as they say, must go on. Big up to Kadeem, welcome. And if you ain't subscribed, which I think you have, hit that like button first in. So big up to you. I know there's a lot of other streams going on right now. Lee doing his emergency meeting, and I get all of that. But listen, if you can, yeah, let's have a conversation today. It's the 2nd of July. And what are Arsenal saying? Yeah, we've got in somebody that's going to raise the ceiling, raise the levels. Yeah, Kepa, raising the levels, people. There's so much to talk about, and we are going to get into it. And listen, before I do anything, obviously, I want to get in my man, Mr. Big D, always there. Going to introduce him. What you say, my friend? You good?
All right, man. Yeah, good norms.
Boy,
enjoy this weather, man.
Listen to me. No, bro, it is being absolutely boiling hot. I mean, yesterday coming down on the coach. It was about 4 hour drive. The air condition was in there, was wicked. Yeah, but after a while, the missus was like, "Now turn it off, man." It was affecting her throat. But yeah, I had a kind of good sleep on there and everything. Big up, yes, we say, man. Big up to you, bro.
Big up yourself, man.
AFC always there, man. Always there. And big up to you, as I say.
Yes, AFC.
Hit that like button and let me bring in the long-awaited Mr. JP. I haven't seen him in a while.
Hey, fellas.
What you say, bro?
Listen, man, I'm outside, so I ain't got the camera on, and if the audio's bad or too much noise, let me know.
Yeah. You're cool. You're good at the moment.
Yeah, you sound all right, mate.
Yeah, you sound all right, boys. Big up to you.
Nice
big
one,
up. Yeah, man. No, good. But I'll get back to big up Mob Boss. What you say, man? Good to see you on. Big D, where's Garnacho going? That's a question. We will come on to that. There's a lot of things happening at Man United, at Arsenal. Yay! We've got the floor raiser, the ceiling raiser. Kepa's going to raise the levels. Yay! Listen, man, we're going to get into it. But big up to you. But everybody, if you're new, please hit that like button. So before I go into things, Big D, how are we doing?
Yeah, man, doing okay, Norms. Yeah, doing okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm actually enjoying this weather because I was miserable in the winter, so I'm not going to complain about getting cooked and topping up the melon. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I hear that. Absolutely, boy. The last couple of days, man, proper baking. It got a bit cooler.
Oh yeah,
it's been a bit cooler now. It looks like it's cooling down, but still, we can't complain because when it rains and whatever, we're moaning. So listen, we give God thanks. You know, we got the weather, so let's enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I've been running the chino shorts for work and everything, man. I was like, that ain't uniform. I said, I don't wear uniform. I'm Big D. Big D just comes to work. Be grateful that I reached, you know what I mean? I just set it up, mate. I said, nah, forget about uniform. Like, it's hard here. I need to be comfortable. You know the ones.
and JP, what you saying, man? How you doing?
Yeah, man, you know what? I'm good, lads, man. I can't complain. I'm out here in the front of the house, rendering walls. Right now, I couldn't do nothing for 2 days. It was so hot.
I'm walking in. Listen, I cool off.
Listen, he's cooled down.
So that's cooled down now. You're ready to
do it. Obviously, I'm working during the day, so I can only come out afterwards. Every time I come outside, I'm like, nah, man, I can't do nothing out here. I'm cooking. I'm cooking outside. So I've had to try and catch up a little bit today, man, and just try and do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I hear that, man. Thanks for the, doing what you can to come on the show, man. Whilst you're working, you know what I mean? That's good, man. You're doing the Lord's work. That's good. Hey, listen, look, Yassa team, Diddy case almost over before United signed in Benwell and Arsenal signed a striker. Listen, that is crazy, bro. I only saw that pop up my timeline today. The man is pretty almost bust case, people.
Oh,
I know this is not. Yeah, I know this is not a Diddy show, And pause. You know what I mean? But yo, it seems like it's news. So just before we talk about the footy, my man is bust case. Do you think that he's going to get off on all the other things, or is he going to be just a slap on the wrist? Well, go on.
Well, he got found guilty. He got found guilty on two counts of prostitution, right? Which is the lesser of all the crimes.
Yeah.
So he might get some time. You know what they might do? Time served. That's what they might do.
This is what I'm thinking.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the guy was saying, depending on if the industry is done with Diddy, it's how it shapes up. Because he's done well for the industry, and he didn't snitch. That's a key factor. Like he didn't take the stand and snitch on people, because he's got receipts for bare people that were in that mess as well, but he didn't take the stand and snitch. So that might be looked favorably for him. You know what I mean? Whether we like him or not, he's not a snitch. You know what I mean? So
I think Diddy's done in the industry, mate. I think he's done.
I don't think people are going to really be associated now with his name.
Exactly. Look, well, they say, in my opinion, he's obviously upset someone, because I don't understand how that video all of a sudden becomes public knowledge when the video's like 8-9 years old or however long it is.
Exactly.
Someone had that video all that time.
I said the same thing to my missus, that someone was sitting on that. So it was necessary to use it.
That's right.
And then they said, now it's necessary.
That's right. That's what I think.
That's what I said. It's industry politics as well, JP. You know?
Yeah.
Definitely. So, and I think people probably, like with the Epstein situation, this guy started singing like a canary. Diddy had done that. He just get his mouth, and you're thinking, why ain't he talking? He's just taking all the heat. So I think there's a level of being looked after because you took all the heat. You know what I mean? And if we really believe that Epstein really hung himself in prison, then go on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. So,
well, listen. Enough Diddy talk now. Let's get on to what really matters. It's football. Yeah, this is not a Diddy show. You know, I don't want to lose my subscribers. You know what I mean? And guys, if you are scraping in the background, that's Man United trying to go for Mbembo.
You know what I mean? Let me go on mute while I'm scraping.
Yeah. When you talk,
man, that's all good, bro. Yeah, man.
No, yes, I'm not on holidays, mate. I'm up in the not the Midlands, Sheffield,
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. You know what I mean? Very lovely, very hilly place. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I thought my heart was gonna come out my chest walking up the hills, bro. But
it's hilly.
Family bereavement. So I just come back from the reception. So I've literally left the reception. I had to rush back. Got a lift off of one of our friends. He couldn't find his way back. I was panicking. You know what I mean? Pressing imaginary brakes in the car. Man, I said, "Yo, slow down." You know what I mean? But we're here. Yeah, we're here. So that's why I'm in a different environment, looking like I'm being interrogated. Lights on me. Yeah, and it is what it is. Yeah, big up. What's AFC saying? 12 years ago, Arsenal bid 40 million plus £1, and here we're still here needing a striker. This is what it's about. This is what it is. We just don't learn. We do not learn. It's the same old. Big up to Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew.
I don't know if it's your first time on here, but if it is, big up to you. Subscribe and share if you are new. Arsenal, Greece, and Diddy. Enough Diddy talk now. Yeah, enough Diddy talk. And shopping. Listen, stop shopping in the Chelsea bit. Listen, man, I'll tell you this. Yeah, we've in the last I think 6 years or so, might be a little bit more. We bought 6 Chelsea rejects worth £90 million. Big D. 6.
Yeah. I've seen that.
6 of them. Wow. And the major one is Kai Havertz on 65 million. Yeah.
Right.
And now we've got Kepa. And now we're probably linked with this Madueke guy. I don't know what it is about us and Chelsea. We're like the Chelsea Pension Club. Literally, like the Chelsea Pension Club.
Well, I'm hoping if the latter guy you mentioned comes, then they'll come and swoop in and take our natural off our hands. You know what I mean?
Listen, well, Garnacho's linked is linked with Chelsea as well. So
yeah, he is. Yeah,
so maybe something about Chelsea are moving, they're doing their thing, and we will be
big up.
going into the menu this evening. We will be going into the menu this evening. Big up, why not? Good to have you back on. Yeah, just say big up to Yassa. And yeah, also big up, why not to AFC and Mr. Kofi
More
Slot.
like Kofi.
Gooners under the spot. Listen, we're under the spotlight right now. Yeah, you might as well say that, man. Gooners under the spotlight, or Gunners under the spotlight. Because I'm not a real gooner. You know, if you know, you know. But yeah, it is what it is, Cole. Shame that you can't be on the show tonight, but we might. Well, to be honest, you guys, man, your business is pretty much sorted. You just need one more player, and that's probably a top striker, and you're good to go. You're good to go, and you look like you're selling Elliot.
Oh,
like
is he gone? Yeah, looks like it.
Well, he's up for sale. I think there's a couple of clubs interested in him. I think in the Premier League and abroad, but I think they're looking at around about £40 million, which is not bad for a player to come through their academy and stuff like that. So you know they're going to be making pure profit, and they're putting a buyout clause in there. So yeah, big up to Liverpool. They're doing their thing. They're doing their thing, man. They're doing their thing. Why not? Laugh out loud. Kofi transfers are under the examination lights too. That's what Wyman is saying. And AFC just saying big up to why not? I've just said that. I've just done that one, have I? Yes, Leone, what you saying, man? Yo, good to see you. Have you on? And listen, let me just say, let you know, guys, what's on the menu tonight. So basically on the menu, let me just get a drink, man. I think there's one something went down the wrong throat. Pause. So, guys, you would have seen the menu. Sorry, I got it out a bit late to you. But first one is Arteta's stubbornness to continue playing Kai and Odegaard a detriment to the club? Yeah, just to get your views on it, the chat's views on it. Big mistake losing Partey on a free. Looks like he's gone. With fans almost handing him out the club as well. That's just not good. I don't like the way our fan base is operating with Thomas Partey. Brian and Benro, happy to stay at Brentford if fee not agreed. Should Man United be worried? And 4, are Chelsea building a squad to challenge this season? And last of all, 5, any other business where the chat can put stuff in there, questions, on any other business that we want to talk about, we will talk about it. So so look, let's start off. Let's start off with Thomas Partey. Let's start off with him. Let's start off with Thomas Partey. Now, as you know, guys, we spoke about it last week, and now his contract ran out the last day, 30th of June. So now he's a free agent, can talk to clubs. You know, the number of clubs looking at him. Barcelona, I think is it Galatasaray, one of those clubs are looking at him. A number of clubs are interested in him, and he would definitely make, for me, a very good buy if he ends up going on a free to any one of those clubs. Now the problem is that Arteta came out and basically said, like, you know, if he shows his fitness and that, almost a promise to say, look, we will more than likely give him a contract. You know, he's here to stay. And for me, last season, he was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, probably one of the best, you know, midfielders, barring Rodri in Europe. Obviously, Rodri got injured, but he's definitely one of our best players. And because they couldn't sort out the contract situation, some people are pointing things at Berta. But at the end of the day, we don't know. It seems like a lot of these top fans seem to have an insight as to how much this guy was asking for, and that the fact that it's a cheek of him to do that. They're blaming him and saying that he can't stay injury free. All of this,
but he wasn't injured much last season, no.
Yeah, but this is the narrative that this is what I'm trying to say. That's why I posed that question. That's why I've said it. It's a mistake to let this guy go on a free, and you're bringing in Norgard. Yeah. Now Norgard, is now ended up being Partey's replacement, because Zubimendi, when Zubimendi, we was looking at Zubimendi, the plan was to keep Partey, based on his performance, based on the fact that he didn't get injured. And to be perfectly honest, let me just see what Jason's saying.
No, second.
Not at the moment, Jay, because you're mute. I can't hear you. I can't hear you at the moment, Jay. We lost you.
Okay.
Yeah, you dropped.
Oh, no, you're back in now. He's dropped out. What's happening there? Jay, if you're listening, jump back in. Yeah, because we just lost you. Sorry, what was I saying there, D? Yeah, so
Partey.
Yeah.
But,
so
but you know what, no? I put that in the chat to JP because I saw this thing where it was like all these free agents, and I said I'd take Partey and I'd take Walker Peters as well as a wing back up or a left wing back up, depending on how we're going to play. This how I look at it. We've just saved 340 grand a week on wages with the departure of Lindelof, Evans, and Ericsson. Now I'm not sure what Partey is looking for wages wise. I'm going to say around the 250 mark, maybe.
Right. So can you hear me now, guys? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Sorry to cut you, D, but I heard, and this is why I was going to ask Norman what he thought, D, because we had a little WhatsApp chat about this earlier. I heard he was asking 300 plus. Now, is that true? Yeah, I don't know how true that is because I don't follow it that closely.
Yeah, I'll be lying if I said I did, and I don't.
Right.
You know, I don't think it's that amount. That's crazy.
Nah,
right?
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
thinking.
He's asking for 300. There's no way.
I reckon you get 250. As a free agent, JP.
That's what I'm saying. Now he might come to as a free agent. If we wanted him, that's what he might be asking for.
Okay. So if he came to you guys, if Partey came to you at 32 years old and said, "I want 250," would you do it?
For me, right now,
only for a year.
Well, I give him a year and one, Jay. I give him a year with the option of one.
Yeah, as long as we got the option.
But exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He won't.
But by the sound of things, he wants at least two with the option of one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, we are saving wages by just the three that left a week. So even if you say, right, we're going to give you a little 220 or 240 a week, and then whatever you give him on, you give him a little sign-on bonus as a sweetener, and then you sell him one with the option of one, and see how you get on. If you stay fit, and you start him, which allows Bruno to roam, because we kept Bruno, he has to play him now, because from time someone says to a player, we don't need the 100 million, do not go abroad, and we keep him, that tells me he's almost a shoe-in starter. However you shoe him in, he starts. So if you have this guy as a CDM, it allows Bruno to be in that midfield, but also to roam with one of the wing backs slotting in as a midfielder, you know, in terms of keeping it balanced and not having that lone midfielder like we'd always be doing, Casemiro on his own getting skinned. You know what I mean? So it's just an option for me. Like, he doesn't have to leave the country. We sort him out. The bare properties that Man United must have on the books up in Cheshire, hook him up with a nice gaff and say, all right, let's do it, bro. He knows the Premier League, so it's not about, he's got to bed into the pace of the game and all that. He knows the league. So for me, I'm doing that deal, Jay. If the deal's there to be done, because we are the team before the team. This is the team trying to get back into the top 6 or 8, not the team challenging for a title.
I don't see how Ineos do this deal, D, when they are trying to control wages. Right?
Yeah.
And there's no possible way he says he's not going to give us a discount. So he's not.
On the wages.
And he's not going to sign a 1-year deal. So what they don't want to do is like give it, and he probably wants a 2-3 year deal, and they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably a 2-year. It's probably a 2-year deal. I mean, they're giving Norgard, right? I mean, I'd sooner keep Partey than take Norgard. Now I know Into the Box is saying that, you know, you know, he's made a point. If we was here and got 3-4 good solid consistent season from him, we wouldn't be having this argument. Fair play. But let's just look at his stats. Let's just look at his stats. So let me just share my screen and let's look at his stats. Okay, so basically this is can you see that, guys?
Yeah.
Right, you can see that, yeah. So
Yeah.
Partey came to us. This is like in the 21.
Sorry, Normski.
Season.
Have you?
Yeah,
Sorry, Normski. Have you got one that shows the amount of games he played? Because I think that's an important number to see as well.
Yeah. I'd have to. If
okay. Any, all right, no worries. If you ain't got it,
I'm just showing, like, in terms of the total wins that he's had whilst he's played. He's 80. He's won 80 games. Yeah, of those, he's 80 games, 28 draws, and 22 losses.
Over 4 seasons.
Yeah, over 4 seasons. Yeah. So what I mean, when you look at that, I mean, you look at that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 5 years. When you look at that, when you look at that, I mean, if you add all the games together, because I mean, if you're doing 38 games over 5 seasons, what's that? 100 and what's that going to be? 100 what? 150 odd games, 160 odd games.
Let me get the I do that wrong. Let me get the
right. That's 9. That's
so
108.
Yeah. So that is what 38 games. No, 38 games a season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 38.
So 38 games times 5. What's that?
It is 190 games.
190 games.
Right.
And so based on his 180,
and then
won 28 and lost 22.
Quick maths now. Yeah.
How many is that? Are we essentially saying that these are the games that he's played? Right. So what's the total amount there? You could do your quick maths.
So he played 130 games out of 190.
Okay.
So he missed 60 games over 5 seasons.
So if he was going to do it on average over, So if you were going to divide that by 5, 60. I know it might be one season that he missed quite a lot in one particular thing.
So he's averaged missing 12 a season over 5 years. Yeah.
I mean, does that sound 12 games over 5? 12. If you was going to average that, does that sound bad?
Because you have to remember as well, it's not all injuries. It's yellow cards and things like that as well in that. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
If he's played 130 out of 190 available, I'll take that now.
I'll take that as well.
Yeah,
I'll take that. No doubt.
And this is what I don't get is the hate that this guy is getting. I mean, let me just read some stuff you see on Twitter. Now, it's almost like, listen, these top gooners, if you turn your back on them, they'll stab you in your back. Yeah? And they're proper stabbing Partey in the back. So these are just some of the, I've just got them on phone rather than get them loaded up. So I'm just going to read some of them to you, right? So for instance, one guy says there, some guy called Chizzy got a blue tick. I don't really agree with the fact that people hate Thomas Partey. In fact, I think people wanted him gone because of his footballing reasons, right? Now, here are some of the reasons I'm talking about. Now, guys, just listen to this. He's horrible at tracking back. He has limited footballing range, passing range. Yeah, he's slow on the ball. He's unreliable. He's inconsistent when it comes to winning the ball. He's 32 and demanding over 200k pay rise in his first full season of staying fit. All right, but yet we got what's his name on 265,000. Gabriel Jesus on £265,000. A week. £265,000 a week, and we can't get a full season out of this guy.
Yeah, it's a double standard, isn't it?
Right? But I just can't understand the way they are actually dissing this guy. If I go down, Partey needs to go for football. All the reasons: unreliable physically, unreliable at defending, unreliable at users of the ball. I mean, they were crying for this guy when he got that yellow card in the PSG game. Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh my
They're
God!"
losing
So
their minds. Yeah,
it's double standards here. It's either he's good
because
or he's not good.
Yeah,
Because when
if
he got that yellow card, he got the yellow card. And he was suspended. He was suspended for the second leg of the PSG or the first leg of the PSG.
yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we want to our people say, oh, it's good business. It's good business. Norgard is 1 year younger than Partey. And you look at Norgard's injury, he's got a bad injury list as well. Over since the time that he's been playing for Brentford. And if you just look at here, Thomas Partey, played 35 games. This is last season. 35 games. Norgard 34. Touches 59.9. Partey 73.4. What are these guys talking about? Passes completed 52.44 to Norgard's 36.68. And these guys saying that this guy can't pass the ball and do accurate passing and all of this. What are they on about? The only thing that he's really come out good in this is his interceptions. And we know Arteta likes these defensive type players because that's all he seems to buy is defensive type players. Our first signing is a goalkeeper. When we're meant to be going for that striker, our first signing is a goalkeeper. What are we doing here?
Yeah. And you have to look as well.
I don't get the hate. I don't really get the hate for this guy. I don't get the hate.
Yeah. Well, and you have to look at these stats as well, bearing in mind how much of the ball Arsenal keep as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like Arsenal are constantly defending for their lives.
Do you know what I mean? And then
so the stats always a little bit.
Yeah, but
you have to look at the whole team to stat to make.
That the big channel down the road, They it's almost like they want to insinuate that the money that Norgard is going to get, because remember he's on 42k a week currently. You think when he comes to Arsenal that he's not going to have that money almost double, if not near 100k a week? He's coming to Arsenal for 42, right?
No,
and Zubermendy, Zubermendy will get nearer the £200,000 a week, right? That's going to be almost £300,000. Almost. I'm just saying, they're trying to say that the combination of Zubermendy's, and Norgard when they come to Arsenal, will be less than what Partey was currently getting now. How do they know this? Please, how do they know this? Have they got some insight on this? And this is the stick that this guy is getting. I really, I've had it up to here with a lot of these guys. The way they're dissing off Partey, because the guy he's served well for Arsenal. When he came, everybody was bigging him up and everything. And as far as I'm concerned, I look at what he's done for Arsenal. And I thought he's done well. Yes, injuries have played a part, but you look at, as I said, you look at Tommy Asu, you look at Gabriel Jesus. They're not getting that kind of, scrutiny. Yeah, and then they all come out with it's good business. Norgard, we're a bang average club right now. Bringing in Norgard, he's not raising anything in this club. We just look average right now, and we could potentially go into the season. We put him almost the same. Listen, we're linked with Madueke from Chelsea. We're getting all their rejects. As I said, we spent £90 million on their rejects in the last 6 years or so. 7 years, and we bought 6 of their players. And Madueke could become the 7th player. We're just buying players that can just do a job for Arsenal. We're not buying players that can get us over the line. And these type of players are Arteta's players. And Berta's getting a lot of stick for this as well. A lot of people are not happy with him. A lot of people are losing faith in him because he came with that reputation to come over here, get the deals done, get the best that you can in terms of buys and all that. And now all of a sudden, everybody's now giving him the side eye. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, but you know what I mean. But you would
give him time though. You got to give him time though, no. You got to give the bird. You got to give this guy time.
No, listen. I've said this. I said this on Northside's show last night because Northside, come out and said that he's not happy with Berta, and I said fair play. And I said on his show last night, you're saying that, and I absolutely understand your frustrations with that. And I'm saying, listen, and the good thing about that, it wasn't because I'm going to agree with you because you've said it. No, I'm saying that we have to give him a chance, and it's just that it might be that Berta might be just giving Arteta enough rope to hang himself. But it's
that's what I was going to say, no.
But Berta's coming to a tough situation in terms of the wages, the wage bill, the players that he needs to get out of the club to also sort out the contracts for Saliba and the contracts for Saka. It's sorted out Gabriel Magalhaes, but you know, Saliba and Saka be looking at look at the players that you're bringing in. You think I really want to sign when you're bringing in bang average players?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you've got the Gokaris saga going on. You've got the Sesko saga going on. I don't know if we're coming and going. And you know, we're gonna talk about Eze. You know, we're linked heavily with him. And we're in talks with him. We're in talks with a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? A lot of talking going on.
Talking FC,
talking FC buyout clauses that need to be activated, but yet again they want to do Clara payments on that, and this is just slowing everything up. Yeah, but yet the Norgard situation, yes, it's £15 million, but I'm looking for somebody an upgrade. Yeah, he's now coming. Has the so-called Jorginho replacement, and Zubomendi now is the Partey replacement. What I wanted to see was obviously Zubomendi is going to come in. He's a decent player. He's not a world-class player. He's a decent player. There's better midfielders than him out there, but he's a decent player. Will he get us over the line? No. But what I would say is that keep Partey so that Zubomendi can learn off of him, because Partey has got more experience in terms of playing at a higher level. Yeah, he's played at a high level at Atletico Madrid. He's played for us, if you want to say we're on high level. But he's played in the Premier League. Zubomendi has not. So he's got to get used to the pace of the Premier League. Yeah, those balls when Raya plays them short balls out to him, he's got to turn. They're going to be on him like a rash. And I'll guarantee you, Amorim's going to say, because look what Casemiro did to him when Real Sociedad played you. Yeah, when Real Sociedad played Man United, he was getting bullied. He was getting bullied. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, you know,
and the pace of the game always catches players out. Anyway, when they come to the Premier League, when you listen to interviews, they always say, "Oh, the pace of the game was quicker than I imagined it to be." Because obviously, there's training mode when you're training with your peers at your club, but then in the real time game situation, you actually realize that you don't have the time on the ball that you probably had in Italy or a Spain, and you get squeezed very quickly by the team that like to press, just pressing waves. So, and I look at the Partey thing as well. Partey allowed Rice to be more box to box creative as well. I think people forget that. So it's like, I don't know.
Since 2021, he's had 421 days out of injured. Okay. So but
that still comes down to he played 130 games in 190 available.
Exactly.
So regardless of the days over the 5 seasons,
because if you're talking, if you're talking those days, I mean, he could have been the season, the 421 days. If you could be a bit more specific, into the box. Don't know. I'm sure you're new to the channel, but yeah, I mean, I respect your opinion, but at the end of the day, people are turning around and going on like this guy has not offered anything to this club. He's been our best midfielder. You tell me who's been a better midfielder. Yeah, he's not. But we've got a lot of players that are not consistent. The only real player really consistent in there is Gabriel Magalhaes and Saka. If truth be told,
that's
true. If truth be told, but the way this manager, but the problem, but the thing is, the way this manager runs these, before, listen, let me just say this: before Thomas Partey came to this club, he didn't get the amount of injuries he's getting now, and I put that down to Arteta and his training methods and running the man into the ground. I'm telling you, because now we've got 3 players that have had grade 3, right, tears on their hamstring, where they've had to have surgery. You've got Ben White playing with a knee problem. You've got Timber ankle problem. That's had the operation on it. He's really come out and called him out already. Okay, you've got Declan Rice is going to be able to do a lot of running this season. Yeah, who's injured. Calafiori is coming, but everybody seems to be bigging up Calafiori. Calafiori had 530 plus days injured before he came to Arsenal. So why anybody talking about that? But yet they want to have a go at Thomas Partey. Calafiori is more inconsistent, and he's coming and he's not had a full season with us. Yeah, and he's been he came to us last season 6 times on occasions now. He's been injured, right? But nobody's saying anything. They love his flowing hair, the horse, the Shire horse. Nobody's having a go at him. No, but this is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
And
man.
D, I want to go there. I want to go there. If you know what you know, if you know what you know,
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna go there. I was talking with Matty last night, and we was discussing the same thing. Yeah. And then calling out Thomas Partey about his off-field things and whatever. You know that you know. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at that. Leave it for the chat to make up their minds what I'm talking about. But this is what we're dealing with. I just feel that he's being treated unfairly. I mean, you would think that this guy hadn't given anything to Arsenal. Yeah, hadn't given nothing to Arsenal. He's done so much for Arsenal. Yeah, and you've seen there that he's got a better when he's played. His win percentage is something like 61 or 62% when he's played for Arsenal. So yeah, there's a lot of players. So when you're talking about inconsistent injuries, there are a lot of players, and now we're having a situation now where you're getting injuries to quite a few of our key players. We're going into a new season, and I guarantee you, come by Christmas, there's a chance that a lot of these players are going to break down. You know what I'm saying? And we're buying bang average players. Yeah, Sesko. Yeah, Sesko, another project. If we get Sesko, I mean, going into the season, we could end up, if Timber's fit, playing Timber at right back. You've got Saliba, Gabriel. You got Miles Lewis-Skelly. I would like a proper left back there, but Miles Lewis-Skelly is going to be the one that's playing there. And then your defensive midfielder will be Zubimendi. If he's playing as a lone 6, or if he's playing in a double pivot, that could be Rice, because Rice, obviously, Arteta wants him to play in the 8. Yeah, Arteta wants him to play in the 8. So will it be Zubimendi and Norgado? Is it going to be a Zubimendi and Moreno? Because at the moment, Moreno was brought in to be an 8. Yeah, and so it's all confusion right now with this club. You know what I mean? And Berta's got his work cut out with this, and it needs to get sorted properly. You know why not? I'm no top gooner, but Partey asks for more money. That his output is crazy. But listen, you're looking at. You see what I would say. I would put it down to the fact. You know what the problem is, D. You know why I think Partey's asks for money? Because I think he's looked at his performance this year. The agent said, "Yeah, you performed well, and you were one of the standout players." Yeah, but you got the likes of Kai Havertz on £280,000 a week, not performing. You got Gabriel Jesus on 265. Yeah, always out injured. He has a right to ask for that.
Yeah,
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
It's like he's being disgruntled, Norm. It's the same reason. If you look at the Luke Shaw and the Mason Mount, injured most of the season on big money, and then they make the finals, then you have to see with that airhead Garnacho for losing his mind a little bit, saying, "Yo, I've been in the trenches all season while these man just been pulling wages, and now I'm the one gets dropped for them." You know what I mean? So I look at all these things where he's going to look at, like you say, this man's been injured when I've been in the trenches. Now I'm a free agent. You can't come correct. You know, so, and then with the Berta thing, there's probably a real power struggle with Berta coming in and probably taking some of that power off Arteta. So I imagine there's that going on in the background as well, Norski. You know, so yeah, man, big up. Yeah. So for me, it's like, you know, the two things can be right and wrong at the same time in terms of whether Arsenal fans feel he's not worth that money, but then it would say, well, my performance over that last season, because the season before he had I think it's when he had the bulk of an injury. So at that age, he still bounced back to give a performance, to give a decent season performance. So as a free agent, that's what happens when you're a free agent. You do ask for more money because there's no fee involved here.
And why did Arsenal let it run down to that length of time? Now, D,
because they were going to get rid of him, Norm.
I think D, your rebuttal back on going back to what Into the Box was saying about 421 days here. So why not? It's coming here, and I think this is a fair point. 421 days out. but that's 60 Prem games over 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So when you say 421 days, it sounds, but that's 60 Prem games over 5 years. I would compare that to other players in our team, and I'm certain Partey's one of the smaller offenders. Absolutely.
Yeah, but this is what I was saying. Of the 190 available, he played 130. Yeah. So it's like, you know what? That's probably a good average when you look at Premier League between injuries and suspensions and what have you, and sometimes personal reasons, you know, a death in the family or something like that. It's not horrendous, really and truly. And for what he offers, he's a solid CDM. Whether you think he's not the best at moving the ball forward, he's not there for that. He's there to break up the play and give control back to the team. And every now and again, he scores a worldie goal for you out of nowhere. I think you'd take that. I think most Premier League teams would take that, especially those coming up. But he could probably go to a promoted side that wants to stay up and think, right, if we could get a good CDM to protect our centre backs, this guy might be it. Yeah, he might be on the most money when he comes here. But if it means that we stay up and we don't have to do the whole parachute payment thing, then it might be a good gamble. I'm not saying he's going to want to go to one of the three that have just come up, but you might look at it like that to say that staying in the Premier League is what it's about. You know what I mean? You see Leicester always try and yo-yo back up the next season. You know what I mean? And Burnley as well.
I think Leicester going to have problems, mate. I think.
But I think they got financials, haven't they? So that doesn't happen.
Proper financials. I think they're going to sell out of their players and that, and they've gone down. So I think, that if anything, if they don't mind Sharp, I think they could end up paying some large. I'm sure there's something out where they got to pay. They're in breach or something or whatever. I can't remember. I remember reading it somewhere, and that they're in kind of financial issues. They got some financial problems.
Yeah.
So, Arsenal agreed terms with Gokras and Eze open to join Arsenal. Look, until I see them man standing with Berta, until I see them man, and you know, this is what transfer rumors are all about. It's silly season. It's silly season. As you know, you're trying to change certain mans there. It's silly season right now.
But the easiest thing is to agree the personal terms with the players. It's a loggerheads with the clubs where how they want the payment spread. Do they want, like what we were saying about Mboma, where these guys want the solid 60, and then we're going to talk about the add-ons. They don't want the price and the add-ons to come to 60. They want 60 to be right. We want 60 from you, and like I said, I'm hearing it was 20 down and 2 seasons of 20 million. And then, and what I think I said in our chat, I would just offer them between 5 and 10 million of unachievable add-ons, and say, right, that's what you're getting if you want the full 60 in the deal, where 60 is the cost, and the add-ons is between 5 and 10 million. So, and United have been trying to stretch these payments to 3 years, sometimes even 4 years. A lot of teams ain't going for that now. They're like, nah, give us 20. And then 2 seasons of 20. And that's our 60 in 2 seasons. And then whatever add-ons he achieves, winning the league, Ballon d'Or, Champions League final, whatever, you add them on. So, yeah. So I think...
Sorry, JP, you want to come in here?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think with like what you were saying about, you know, people saying you've agreed terms with Jokerez or whoever, I think sometimes it's who's saying it. Because you get all these randoms coming out saying, "Oh, there's a deal done. Oh, there's a bid gone in. Oh, they've agreed." But if David Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano said, they're like, "Listen, everybody else is just rumors. Everyone's just trying to be. Everyone else is trying to be first. That's all they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's about clicks and stuff like that. That's why I can't believe. Listen, no, Ornstein have got it. He's got it wrong sometimes. But they do have clout. You can't deny that. If they say something,
they get it wrong very rare though.
Yeah, very rare.
They don't. This is their business. This is their game. It's very rare they get it wrong. Of course, they've got it wrong, or the situation has changed from when they've got the information and stuff like that. But I think when it comes to a big transfer like, you know, Jokerez or I don't know, you know, these big deals that everyone's talking about now. They're not. Some random journalist is not going to get the information before these guys.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys, you was linked with Gokares, obviously because of the Amra links and stuff like that. And there was one point where there was a possibility that he would be coming to you, and then there was that whole thing for Britzel coming out, and then he changed his mind and said, "Oh, well, he didn't say that he didn't want to go to Man U. He was just saying that, you know, obviously he's kind of cheesed off with his club in terms of how they're dealing with his contract situation and the whole gentleman's agreement and stuff like that." Now, the thing is, now I don't know how true again. Is it just paper talk? You might be, if it's looking like Arsenal are going to get Gokares, you're turning your attentions to Ollie Watkins.
I'm just not sure about him.
This is what you're reading, and I mean, how you feel about it. And obviously, you've got the Mbembo situation. We'll move into that, where, you know, if you talked about the fact that there's a certain amount of payments that you need to make, and Man United want to make payments sort of in like 3 or maybe 4 installments. Well, Brentford kind of maybe want nearer the actual asking price without so much Clara payments in place. So there's that. I'm not saying that it's probably going to happen. It's probably going to happen.
Yeah,
but if say,
there's no release clause, is there, Norm? I don't think there's a release clause for Mboma. I don't think there's actually a release clause. I think there isn't. I think this is what I said to JC. If we had done the Cunha deal with an undisclosed fee, I think that deal's already done. But once you're advertising and how quickly we got that done, bear in mind, if you know the club, they've been working on the Cunha deal in the background, so it wasn't a hard deal to do. He wanted to come. They'd already sorted out his personals. It was just about what they were going to do in terms of the payment with Wolves, and that happened very quickly. But once that's out there, they just spent more than him. And like what JP said in our chat, only Mo Salah had better numbers than Mboma. So Brentford know they're a feeder club, but now they're a feeder club with a bit of money. So they're just like, we don't really have to spend. And I think spitefully, they would try and mess up his ambitions and say, right, well, we're not going to sell you for that. So you might as well just buckle in, take the captain's armband and chill. And let him go for free. You'd rather let him go for free.
What is the actual figure we're talking about? Is it 65
that's the thing.
or 68 million? I mean, what is the
they want as much as what we paid for, which is what, 62 plus 8, I think it's 18 add-ons.
Okay.
So
no. That's not no. Cunha is 62.5. All in 62.5.
All in.
There's no add-on business.
Oh, for the Cunha one.
Yeah, Cunha is 62.5. What they're saying is, Brentford are saying, look at his numbers. He's actually more productive. So we want, he's a year younger. So we want a little bit more.
Right. So they're looking at least.
They're saying the 65 is looking like what Brentford want.
What, 65 with no add-ons, JP?
Well, they want 65. So United are probably going to do that 65 with add-ons. So it's, and I mean by that is they might do 60 plus 5 or something like that. They're going to look to get to that 65 with add-ons. But then Brentford are going to want it with achievable add-ons. They don't want no messing. They don't want no messing about. Oh, he's got to win the Ballon d'Or.
Just run the Ballon d'Or in there. And the Golden Boot in the Champions League and all that. That's what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, it'd be interesting to know what they are. But
they don't want. But they don't want none of that stuff. They said none of that foolfulness. We want it if he scores 10 goals. We want it if he has 30 appearances. You know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Actual achievable ones.
Yeah.
But
if it gets a little bit complex and a bit complicated, and you know, their manager, I think it was their manager that came out and said, look, you know, he would love to keep Mbembo if he could, because he's such a pivotal part of his team, and we know that because he scored 20 Premier League goals. But at the same time, he's also saying that, you know, if it doesn't go through, Mbembo's not going to kick up any noise. He's not going to make up no noise. He'd be happy to stay at the club, and if that be the case, that be the case.
That makes me laugh. That makes
That's
me laugh.
nonsense, you know.
Seriously, that makes
Like,
me laugh. Who said that?
yeah,
Like, when you listen to that, who said he said that? Right. So have you ever heard anything like that come from a Bremo's camp? I would be happy if it don't go through. We've been promised Man United. We've been promised Man United a big wage increase. But if it don't go through, we'll be happy to stay at Brentford. Come on, man.
Yes, Jason. Jason is on 45k a week at Brentford.
Yeah, man. Come on.
And apparently, I think he's negotiated at least a 150, 160 at Old Trafford. But he'd be happy to stay and sit on and what you give him a light 5k pay rise to 50k a week, and he's just gonna chill.
Well,
not a chance.
I think that if they do keep him, then he's going to turn around to say to Brentford, "Well, listen, bro, I'm your performer. You need to be paying me near 100k,
more than that, Norm, because I'm saying I just agreed 160 with United, and you shafted the deal. So pay me 160 since you want me to stay, and give me the captain's armband as well, and the goal bonus that you weren't really giving me, a better goal bonus. Yeah, he can come with chest. So this whatever this guy was, CFO or whatever he was, saying, "Oh yeah, he's quite happy to stay." Yeah, on what terms, bro? You're probably gonna wish you did let him go. Because how I see, if he runs his contract down, which that's how he's talking, like, oh, we'll just let him run his contract down and leave for free. Really? So you would allow 55 million guaranteed money and let him? Yeah, okay. I'm sure the accountants would have been tearing their heads out listening to that interview.
If for whatever reason it doesn't happen, how does the Ollie Watkins sound to you?
No, go get me Mateta then, Bridget. There you go. Go get me Mateta. I don't want Watkins because you got to play a certain way towards Watkins. You know? Remember, Rashford got him dropped at Villa. Come on, bro.
That's the bit I don't understand.
Rashford got him dropped.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that Mateta business, though. Yeah, I'm not really a fan, but I don't know.
I like you,
think, but you know
what? Yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
No, so I was going to say, the thing about Watkins is Amorim likes that type of player, the one that runs in behind, runs the channels. That's the type of striker that he actually likes. So I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the one we'd go for if we can't get anybody else, and that's our backup resort, like our third, fourth choice striker or something.
But this is the thing, though. This is the thing.
What behind Hoyland? Behind Hoyland?
Behind Hoyland?
but this is the thing. Hoyland wants to stay now, and I think this is the problem.
Yeah, but JP said Watkins is your fourth choice striker. So who? No.
I'm saying fourth choice. I'm talking about of the strikers we're going to sign.
Available. Yeah. Right.
Novsky, we don't have four strikers. We can't be fourth choice. We ain't got any.
We ain't got four. Yeah.
Listen, I don't care what anyone says. There's a lot of United fans that like Joshua Zirkzee, and I'm not one of them. It's not nothing against the kid. He's just not good enough. I don't like players that can't run. I just don't like it.
No, but I think me and you were battling forward on this, right?
Yeah.
It's. I always look at a player that comes into a club that is not performing well, and you're new to the league, you're new to the country, to the city, to the club, and the team is not performing well, and then you get bashed because you haven't dragged them out of the mud. But the truth is, he's on no way. He's nowhere near in the top 5 paid players at United. Plus, he's young, still learning his trade. So that's why I haven't been over harsh on him for the situation he's come into. Now, if he has another season like last season where he's just not getting me enough goals for what I need, then I would say, okay, you know what? This kid's good with his feet. He does bring the others into play, but I need more than just that for us to be elevated. Because like I said earlier, we are still the team before the team that is allowed to challenge. So this is the team trying to be between 8th and 6th in the league or 8th and 5th in the league, not the team challenging your Arsenal's, Liverpool's and Man City's for the title. So I think in that progression, I've got to be realistic and say, what can you offer this season? And this is where I agree with JP. He's got to get more goals. That means he's got to be in the warm-up. I don't mind him dropping deep to get involved in play if he feels he's being isolated, but you've got to start scoring goals. If I can really say okay, this guy could do something for us, even as the backup to
Guy's
whoever
allergic to the box.
top striker is. You know,
The guy's allergic to the box. But you know,
well,
at the end of the
yeah,
day, if I'm proved wrong with him, I'm happy. When
yeah,
I make a prediction about a United player, if they turn out to be really good and I predict it to be bad, I'm great. I'm really happy with that. I'm happy to say I was wrong, etc. With this guy though, I think even wherever we are in our transition, he can't play in our team.
fair enough. Yeah, it's. I think it's a hard one on him. But then, do I blame Ruben for some of this?
Well, I can't blame
Because
Ruben. Ruben didn't sign him. He
yeah,
was
but
crap when Ten Hag was there.
yeah, but this is my problem with these managers, right? If you say that I'm at Man United and I'm at Man United because you know in a pool of top 10 managers, I'm it. Then I've got to be able to come in and work with players and make them better. And I look at players and saying who was made better last season under
You know
that
what?
coaching team and manager.
You know what? I had this chat with another United fan, and I would argue
Go on.
Bruno was better. He wasn't running around like completely headless anymore.
He was only
Towards
better when he played
the
in the
middle.
pivot, Jay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
But
regardless
whenever he
whether he
played him in a
played,
10, he was awful.
but he was still more disciplined. And when we talk about that, and we talk about Bruno moaning and his great, that got better as well. Harry Maguire. No, I can't stand Maguire. You guys all know this. As a footballer, I'm talking about. He was better at times than what the calamity that we've seen in the past.
Yeah,
So there is a case, you know, of a few players. Look, on the whole, the team just haven't been good enough.
yeah.
Casemiro, you could argue Casemiro was better, right?
But
From what
I've
we saw on
always
Casemiro.
liked Cass, Jay. I've always liked Cass. I just feel that Cass was getting mugged off, expecting to be a sole midfielder while everybody ran forward trying to score goals. That was never going to happen because when you're playing centre backs that don't have enough pace, that just
Yeah.
exposes your CDM all the time. And the gaps, remember the gaps between our midfield? No, back in the day, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
He said, "Oh,
madness.
Cass is at fault again." No, he's not. He's on his own against 3 midfielders getting cooked. No
Oh,
player
that was.
surviving that.
I've never known a manager like Ten Hag that was happy to empty the midfield. I've never known it before.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, it's a madness.
Undervalue the engine room of a football team. I've never understood it.
Yeah. And I think this is where Normski, for me, it's like we've still got to strengthen in midfield. Because I think that was a huge problem last. Yes, we struggled to score goals, but I think we got run through so often, man. It was like, what is this? Amsterdam. You know what I mean? Red light district. Why go on here? Pause. That's why, in fact, we're just like, again, we're just getting run through. Every game getting run through and looking for that moment of magic to get us out of a game, out of a losing situation. That can't happen. You know, I said to my brother the other day that if he continues from where we left off, he's gone before Christmas, bro.
Yeah.
Whether I agree with that or not, as they just keep sacking the managers. But if we can't shift some dead wood, and then he has to go and make shift, and because that's how I see it. If you got one game a week until the domestic cups start, you got to look at them first 10 games and say we need at least 6 wins in them first 10 games. And if we don't get that, then that's a problem, man. Yes, everyone says it's a hard start, but you got to play them teams. Them teams are in the league. Forget about hard starts. At some point, you're going to meet them teams. It doesn't matter when you meet them.
Regardless.
If you got preseason and you're going to go away, we're off to America again, Jay, Chicago, and this New Jersey, and this, right? So you got time to work in better climate, even though it's been nice here. So I can't even knock the weather because it's been brilliant here. But you can have time on the training pitch, which he complained about from November when he came in till end of season. He constantly complained about there's no time to work on really implementing my ideas. So now that record is scratched out. Bin that record. So I don't want to hear any of that. Come the first 5 games of the season, I'll be like, nah, bro. This is now your team. So make it work. You've already made clear who you want gone. He's already made clear who you want gone, Jay.
He has, Steve, but I don't think he can make that excuse next year because he's had the pre-season. But the club need to help him out. Because as it stands,
for sure.
Steve, as it stands, we start training on Monday.
Yeah.
And nothing's changed in our side apart from Cunha, and we finished 15th.
Exactly.
So he hasn't. So we have to help him as well.
Yeah.
We're clearly seeing that these guys. He's told them clearly, these guys ain't good enough. Right. And I know they're suffering from the issues of the past.
Yes.
In the sense of they can't get rid of players because of salaries, and they've inherited that. So I get that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they got jobs to do. They got to go out there and do them.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't know if you saw this, Nomsky and Jay, that the Juventus swap deal with Sancho, there was like 3 players on offer. One being Vlahovic, which is probably is not a bad striker, but I don't think that's what we need right now in a rebuild. I'm trying to remember who the other 2 were. But if there's a deal to
Douglas Luiz.
Now, would you take him, Jay?
He's the only one that I would consider.
That's what I was thinking as well. The same thing. It's just Douglas Luiz for me. Out of what?
The other one was useless. The other one was a waste.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who the other one was.
Was it Tim Ware or something?
Yeah, Tim Ware. That's it. Yeah. Which is what's the name, son? Isn't it? Is you remember that the bad boy midfielder back in the day? George. That's George's son, isn't it? No, he's a striker, wasn't he? He's a striker.
Yeah,
I think it's his son,
James.
George.
I think.
Yeah, either his son or his nephew, but I think it's his son. But for me, get the Sanchez deal done by however you got to do it.
So just say your team. Yeah, I mean, he's another reported target, yeah, that you're looking at. So this is a possibility your team could line up next season. As that sort of fly your boat.
You know what? I'm actually starting that Aiden Heaven kid over Martinez. Believe it or not.
Right, yeah.
Because I feel like Martinez now just become an injury-prone player. So you bet him in.
I don't want that goalkeeper. Either.
No, nor do I. No.
I mean, I'll take him over and
It's calamity, Norm.
World Cup
winner. I know. No, but you have to remember, we had a World Cup winner in Pogba.
And Barthez.
And Barthez, that both as good as they were for their national teams, didn't quite consistently bring them performances to Old Trafford.
Barthez used to give Hornery goals every time he played Arsenal.
Exactly.
So you're my mate, aren't you? Let me give you a goal.
Yeah. Just one for old time's sake, you know what I mean? and I'll tell you what. I look at that team there, Fabian Ruiz. It's not a bad team, but like I said, forget Martinez. I'm not sold on Watkins. No, I'm not even going to pretend I am. Martinez is just going to get injured again. So I'd rather get somebody bedded in there. So I would actually play Euro on the left and start Mazarari on the right side of that back 3. I got Mazarari, De Ligt, Euro. I'm fine with Dorgu and Dallo as the wing backs. Bruno picks himself because we told him to stay. Fabian Ruiz. That's the deal they've been talking about.
We need a better right wing back than Dallo, mate. We need a better right wing back.
You think?
100%.
Oh, Kofi says United's possible lineup looks good. Hopefully they'll have a top 6 finish. Laugh out loud.
So what would you do with Ahmad then, Jay? Because he's not going to start over Kearney or Mbowen, is he?
No, Ahmad. I'd rather Ahmad play the right wing back than Dallo.
Yeah. Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Ahmad, yeah. Dallo is not a wing back. We've seen that because it's too defensive. Having them defensive wing back, that's what hurts.
Yeah, I thought you said Dallo was the right wing back. Sorry. You said
no.
Darlow.
Diallo, yeah. Ahmad, yeah.
Sorry.
And then, don't be surprised if it's Hoyland up there start the season, Norm, and he'll frustrate the heck out of these two. And Bomo, they'll grip him up, Norm. They will. if they provide him for him, and this guy one of them will put hands on him because I think they both got that in them, especially Cunha.
I think
Cunha
more so. I think
more so than Mbeumo. Yeah. So I don't know. It's either that or you think a cheeky thing for Wizard and let him play with his boy and Mbeumo.
How close to this team is this? How many players in there are you saying won't end up? Because I know you're heavily, well, I say heavily linked with Martinez, the goalkeeper I'm talking about.
But why though?
I
don't get that one.
Ask your club. I don't know.
and I'm hearing that James Trafford is going to Newcastle. And I'm like,
I heard something like
I'm like, this kid better not go there and just cook. I'll be fuming. Because from the time he gets involved in the England setup, you've got to be looking at this kid to say, he's coming up. Does he fancy it? Yes, we know the badge and the number 1 shirt is going to be heavy on his chest for a minute.
I mean, Simply Hayes, big up to you, bro. Says it looks a good team, but nothing more or less.
It looks a good team. Chat about. What do you mean it looks a good team? Okay, all right. And I'm not wearing no rose-tinted glasses here. I think if you get Cunha and then Mbeumo, obviously, I don't know why in my mind I feel keeping Bruno as hurts. But if the manager says he's but Simple Ace, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying we challenging. This is the team before the team. I don't know how long you've been on the stream, but if you've been on the stream from way back, these guys will tell you, I'm telling you that this team, my team, is the team before the team to get you back into the 8 to 6. And then the team that's rebuilt over the next 2 seasons should have us at least challenging for the top 4. I'm not saying winning a title. That's what I'm saying. I'm not wearing no rose-tinted glasses on here. We finished 15th. And some of their man was in that, you know? But, so I have to look at that. Man said minus Bruno, you know? The thing is, like I said earlier, the moment we refused 100 million for Bruno, that tells me he's still your captain and he's still starting every week. Regardless of how we line up, he's going to shoehorn Bruno into that team, even when he's playing poor.
That's not quite the narrative, though. They didn't refuse 100 million.
No, that's what Bruno said. Bruno said the manager told him we don't need the money. Is he lying? Bruno, is Bruno lying?
No. What I'm saying is, how long have we all been football? How long have we all been football fans? On a serious,
I know, bro.
The manager, the club are gonna tell him, and obviously the club are gonna put out positive stuff. He has the decision to make. They can't make him go. You think if he wanted to go, they're gonna turn around and say, no, don't go. They're taking £90 million. It's obvious that it's a big deal to root your whole family. It's clearly his family have decided.
His missus and that. His missus
Man United can't force him to go.
No.
Man United haven't turned down 100 million. Bruno's decided he doesn't want to go.
No, but he actually called out the manager. He said the manager said, don't do this deal if you don't need to do this deal.
The club and the manager said they didn't want me to go. Bruno was never up for sale. So this came, so all of a sudden, Saudi have decided they wanted Bruno to be the face. So the club said, look, we weren't going to sell you, so it's your choice. He said he don't want to go. The manager may have told him, I'd love you to stay, you're my captain, blah, 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 blah. That didn't influence Bruno's decision. Bruno's decision, the only reason he didn't go was because his family didn't want to go.
You think that's just it, cut and dry, just that?
Did you see the money that was on the table? The reason he didn't go was nothing to do. Maybe it'd have been a different scenario if he's going there telling his wife the club don't want me, we're all falling out and blah blah blah. But that wasn't the case.
No.
I personally, this is just my opinion from reading the whole story. The club have no influence here in the sense that obviously they can say we want the money or whatever. But this is what I'm saying. A lot of what you hear. So if the club don't need 100 million, how does that all line up? So that's what I'm saying. You got to take everything with a pinch of salt, because a few weeks before we had Sir Jim Ratcliffe telling us we were weeks away of being broke, and then the next day he announces a £2 billion stadium. It's all
Right.
like what they say in public doesn't mean much because they're always
Yeah.
painting a narrative, aren't they?
Oh yeah, for sure. And the thing is as well. The thing is, I know we spoke about this a few shows back, like the whole generational wealth thing, where Bruno was at an age to go and retire his grandkids and still come back in the Premier League and be effective. So he did make a financial choice, regardless of whether his wife wanted to go or not. Like, you have to remember, guys, I've done this. I've moved abroad to support my wife, leaving a very good job. So it's not like I'm talking out of hearsay. I've been that person.
But she wasn't moving for life
So
changing money, was she? She might have been moving for a very good salary and a very good deal, but she wasn't moving for. I'm talking life changing style money.
yeah, but
Bruno's one's different.
But regardless of the money, though, it's still life changing. Like, and remember, you experienced this, Ian. When you move away to a foreign country and you really are aliens, and it's a whole different level of adjusting mentally. Forget about the money, because Sheena was on phenomenal money. What she did,
that's what I'm saying.
It's not not Bruno money or Saudi money.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, you guys moved to the Caribbean, somewhere that we're slightly familiar with, and then you moved to then you went to the US, which is another culture that we're slightly familiar with. We've all been there on holiday. You guys now you're talking. These guys are going somewhere completely different. They're going to a country that's run completely different religion, completely different rules to what they're used to. Women are looked upon differently. Now I know it might be different for them because they got, they're coming in a different status.
There's money in it.
But still, it's like Saudi Arabia, America. It's complete. Like moving to those countries from the UK, I think is night and day in that sense because culturally they're so different.
It's. But like I say, he chose not to do the generational wealth thing. So for me, for me, I'm looking at that and I'm saying that Bruno is really telling us that next season I'm going to be him. So we'll see, JP. We'll see how many phone calls me and you have frustrated with Bruno. And I want Bruno. I want him to prove me wrong, Jay. I want Bruno to prove me wrong. You know what I mean? Because me and you had some conversations last season, man, where I need to match my big screen and thing. The ones and ones. So I don't want a season like that again. I'm not saying I'm looking for a perfect season, but we can't be what we were. And he captained that side to 15th as well, where I think he lost a lot of influence, which was sad to see. I actually like Bruno as a guy. I think he's a nice guy, but in this winning business and the money that's involved in the Premier League and getting into Europe, we cannot be nowhere near 50 players next season.
I don't think we will be. I mean,
we can't be, Jay. We can't be, man.
No.
Because
100%.
The way the word laughing stock would just be so inflated.
Well, to be honest, he's under so much. The truth is, he's under so much pressure. If we have a bad first 5 games, I just don't see how. I don't see. How he survived that.
Yeah. Well, and the way this fan base is toxic, Normski.
Yep.
The way this fan base is toxic as well. My Lord.
Well,
that's why I said that them first 10 games, he needs at least 6 wins. I don't mind 2 losses and 2 draws. But if we're nowhere near that, he's going to catch some smoke, bro.
It's the same for our it's the same for our manager as well. He's under a lot of pressure going into the season because, as I said, he's going to be given more money because apparently he hasn't got, according to some pundits, he still hasn't had the money to build. I think it was I was listening to Sol. He's not a pundit, but listening to Sol Campbell. He was saying, "Well, give him the money so he can get in his players." So what has he been doing for the last 5-6 years? He's bought 30 odd players, and he still hasn't built. As Tyrion was saying, what's going on with the building? Yeah, this building right now is falling down, bro. You understand? So we're going into this season, guys, and just want to kind of move on to that. I mean, And the question I pose is Arteta's stubbornness to continue playing Kai and Odegaard a detriment to the club. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, guys, because let's start off with Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
He was bought from Chelsea for 65 million pounds. Put on 285 or 85 or 90,000 pound a week wage. His best tally, I think, at Chelsea, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, put it in the chat, I think was either 9 goals. I think his best tally at Chelsea over the 2 or 3 years that he was there. I think. I might be lying, but if you could check that out for me, chat, do that. If you want to check it out for me, Big D, JP, you can check it out. I know, JP, you're busy working, but JP, if you want to check that out, right? And we go and get this guy. He was bought to play and replace Granit Xhaka, right? Took him on pre-season. Had a bit of a nightmare over there, you know what I mean? Because when he was in pre-season, you know, they do these competitions where they got to be able to hit the ball at the crossbar and do all these little things and that. That didn't go down too well, taking penalties and all that. You know, they do all these things in America. That didn't go down too well. After the pre-season, Arteta was posed the question that where do you intend on playing Kai Havertz? Because he doesn't seem to be working in that 8th position, that left side 8, or in midfield. You know, he either likes to play him, drop him in the 10 or in like the left side 8, right? And it didn't seem to work. And then we had that season where when he came back from Dubai, he scored 13 goals. So the thought was in his head that maybe if he had a decent season, then he would have probably hit 20 plus goals. I don't see that. I can't see Kai Havertz hitting that, because this season just gone where he got injured in February. Up until that point, after 21 games, 9 goals. People were crying out for a striker. Was crying out. We said, we need a striker because this guy ain't doing it. Kai Havertz ain't doing it. Yeah. And Arteta turned and when the press was pushing him for it, he said, well, no, because we have goals all around. So why do I need a striker? When Kai Havertz gets injured, all of a sudden, fan base is saying, oh, the ball hasn't backed him. I need a striker. Crying, and they tried to go and put in that deal for Ollie Watkins. That they didn't want him. What happened is that Arteta wanted Sesko. Yeah, Sesko didn't come to us in that summer because obviously he didn't feel that he would have probably got a chance to play, and said he was to stay at RB Leipzig. So we have this situation, right? That if we do end up getting a Sesko or Gyökeres, yeah, I've heard people say, yeah, top journalists that are close to Arsenal say that Victor Gyökeres or Sesko would not be an upgrade on Kai Havertz. As a matter of fact, what he did say was that he could see Kai Havertz starting, or will see Kai Havertz will definitely start next season and be that number 9
over Victor.
Yeah, that's what this top journalist was saying.
Well, according to the Capology, he's on 280 a week now.
Okay.
Saka's only on 195 a week. And I reckon that Partey was on 200 a week. Declan Rice 240, Odegaard 240, Jesus 265.
Mad. Absolute mad.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at that.
So,
absolute mad.
So that's why he has to start him. He's the highest paid player at Arsenal.
Yeah.
So the board are not going to allow him to sit him on the bench.
But this is why we said Arteta, as my man Yarbo say, Arteta.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I want him Holt.
Yeah, there was.
No, for real. The thing is, this is why he will die on the Kai Havertz hill. Yeah, because the fact is that one, if a striker comes in and goes, what's your top guy on? Who's meant to be the striker? 280, 285, whatever you said, Capology said. Was it 280, did you say, or 285?
Yeah, 280.
280. Okay.
Yeah, 280.
So if Victor Gyökeres comes in, who's just banged 50 plus goals in 50 odd games,
right,
he's going to say, I want, if not, on his the same salary or more, I will be the main man. I should be the main. Same with Sesko. If you're chasing down Sesko to be your number 1 striker, yeah, I would think Seska's going to want to be asking them, and he's only 22, right? And to be honest,
so you may get him a little bit cheaper now, just because of his age. As in wages. Wages, no.
Well, possibly, but what it is RB Leipzig are saying based on his performance, they're looking at 80 to 100 million euros.
Exactly.
Okay. Right. So there's going to.
So you could probably get away with putting him on the same wages as Saka, maybe, which is like a 190.
Maybe, but maybe. Why am I paying a guy that's regressed year in year out? Yeah, when he came from another league, he's regressed in this league. He's going to come to this league and regress again. Yeah. Personally speaking, 13 goals.
Yeah, that's
13 goals. Yeah. Marouche has scored more goals than him. There's other like I think the 7th or 9th best attacking player in the Bundesliga. So why would I be going and paying that fee for him? Yes, they're going to turn around and say he's got a high ceiling, but why would I be paying him over 150 grand a week?
He shouldn't.
When for me, he's not the man. He's not the man. I would rather take a punt on. Yeah, listen, we don't know.
But even if he was the man, even if you thought he was the man, unless he's coming to you with like a Haaland or an Mbappe reputation, you don't pay him. Exactly. You incentivize him because like he's too young for that. And look, at the end of the day, when he's for scoring 13 goals, I ain't paying you 350 grand a week, or 250 grand, and you score 13 goals. It don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Even the salary, even the fee don't make no sense. And I don't.
Right. Yeah. That's really inflated, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah. Same with the guy.
Yeah, it's very inflated.
Leipzig. Same with the guy. Not Leipzig. Who's the German? Who's the one playing in Germany? That the other striker that everyone's talking about now.
No, so you got Victor Coquelin who plays for Sporting, and Sesko plays for RB Leipzig.
No, there's the other one. There's the other one as well.
Oh, Ekateke?
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Again, another guy who doesn't have huge numbers, but yet they're asking for 100 million. Like the fees that people are and they're only commanding it because it's Premier League clubs.
That's right.
But plus, if you think, Jay, there probably is a scarcity of what we consider top strikers now. There's probably better midfielders than there are top strikers. So now clubs are thinking, if I got a top striker in terms of where the media are putting them, then I'm going to take the P, and that's for bigger money.
Don't you think football's worse now, though? I mean, I know I probably sound like an old football fan, but it just feels worse. Watch football now; it doesn't look great.
Because you see, like before, you'd watch football and you'd be glued. You wouldn't be doing anything else but watching the football.
No, that's right.
I'm cooking, I'm baking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm doing stuff. I'm watching the football because it's not gripping me. The game is boring. Playing out from the back, taking forever to get the ball over the halfway line.
It's just boring.
You know what I'm saying? It's different.
Everyone plays the same way. It's just boring.
Yeah.
No, I say that, and just go back to the Arteta thing. Sorry, Kai Havertz thing is that is the problem that we're facing as a dilemma, is because he's holding up the runnings. Because if he does come in, a striker does come in, then he ain't gonna drop him. He's gonna either drop him into the midfield, and that means that we probably then don't go for say an Eze type player. Yeah. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He's the conundrum and the problem. Again, Odegaard. Right, we paid the same money for him, 35 million from Real Madrid, same price we paid for Fabio Vieira from Porto, right? Now when he went back to Real Madrid, we got him on loan with Dani Ceballos. Yeah, Dani Ceballos is back there and balling out for them, right? On most occasions, Real Madrid didn't want to keep what's his name, Odegaard. So he sent him to us. The only decent season he had was that 22-23 season where he scored 15 goals. Other than that, he's captain material. No, I don't think he is. I don't think he's captain material. Big up, man. LFC fan. Respect. Yeah, big up to you, man. All fans, listen. Unfortunately, our LFC slot, Mr. Slot, is not on the panel with us tonight. He's in the chat. So hopefully if you come back, I'm sure you'll be absolutely welcome. But before you do anything, smash that like button and subscribe and share if you are new. But so I'm answering that question. I mean, you look at it, maybe you don't really know enough. I say know enough about them, but Odegaard. I've done. Jay, was it you that saying that you would take Odegaard? Was it you that was saying to me that you would take Odegaard?
No, definitely weren't me.
It wasn't you. Oh, unless I can't remember.
And it definitely
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
me.
big up, big up, man. Yeah, well, that shows it. So you don't really kind of rate Odegaard. Is that what you're saying?
Do you know what? I don't. I just think I think he's a bit overrated, if I'm honest. But the way our midfield is now, I won't take him now. But now, I won't want him. I won't want him.
But you know what? This is the argument there. And remember, it was an argument last season. Is he better than Bruno? You know, like two captains going head to head. Is Odegaard a better player?
Captain-wise, Bruno goes in there and takes the ball by the horns, whereas Odegaard doesn't. That's why I rate Bruno over. That's why I rate Bruno over, and he's more consistent than Odegaard.
Yeah, he's definitely
Arsenal fans.
Odegaard at moments.
Yeah,
you
know what I mean.
And then suppose you would argue, Norm, whether he should even have the armband now with Declan Rice in the team.
It should be Declan Rice that should have
Declan
the armband.
Now,
Obviously, he's a good role model. I don't want to hear about good role models, man. I want to see a captain. Yeah, I ain't got time for that. Yeah, I've not got time for that. You know what I mean? And he's the most sub captain in Arsenal history. This man is the most sub captain, right? So you know what I mean. My friends went to see him. Yeah, they big him up, but they went to see him and they said, "Bro, he don't look good. Live, direct, doesn't look good. Spinning top on the ball and that doesn't do the basic
keep flicking that hair. Obsessed with his hair. It's like Brown. Play football, man, innit? Play football.
You know what I mean? So for me, and there's this other notion that, you know, if you're going to bring in players to give competition to these guys like Saka, like Odegaard, like Kai Havertz, the fans don't want it. No way. Just bring in a player that can just sit on the bench and every now and then they get They need competition right away. We're playing loads of games this season. We need quality and depth. Last season, we didn't have that because every time Arteta looked at that bench, all he saw was 15 left back sitting on the bench. Right? That's what he saw.
But no, if you look at Eze
and Sterling, and Sterling.
If you look at Eze, he's not coming to Arsenal the whole bench. Trust me on that. Because he's the man at Palace, so he ain't gonna come. He ain't gonna head North London the whole bench.
Yeah.
So,
but this is, and the thing is that Tottenham are sniffing around him as well.
Yeah.
So
that's what I heard,
this is the thing. But as long as Arteta's here, and he's got his favourite players that he ain't gonna drop. Unfortunately, that's where we're gonna just keep coming up against a brick wall. Because if you've got people saying that they don't rate Sesko and they don't rate Gokares over Kai Havertz, then we've got a major problem. I don't know what they're saying, but what I would say is that this club, Arteta, has bred amongst our fan base, amongst these top content creators, these agitators, he has brought in there a culture of mediocrity. These guys are just happy to just finish in the top four, finish second every year, and say we did compete. It was a nice journey. Don't worry about getting to the destination, as we all know. Just go along for the ride until the wheels drop off, in terms of what Rory Claptrap says. Yeah, just go along for the ride, and when the wheels drop off, it was a great journey, and then we go again next year, and it's just rinse and repeat, and it's getting rather boring. And as I'm saying, Arteta should do the dutiful thing, step down and go and give it to somebody that can get these
not
players
falling on his sword, Norms.
Over the. Of course, it's not 15.6 million.
Yeah, not falling on that sword.
15.6 million. Look, could have got João Pedro. Yeah, and you're right.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what I said to Ez. I didn't even know he was even up for grabs.
Well,
60
million.
Missed that.
Having his medical.
Sorry, guys. Did he have that good a season now?
Well, you know what?
He was injured for a little while, but yeah.
I think he scored. How many goals did he score, guys? You know in the chat. I don't know how many goals he scored. I seem to see 12 goals. I might be wrong. I don't know if that's in all comps, but if anybody knows in the chat, please put it in the chat. How many goals has João Pedro scored?
And this is for Brighton. Let's not forget this is for Brighton, who are a feeder club.
Yeah, I just didn't. I just didn't. I don't know. Wasn't that impressed by him
Top player, Pedro.
every time I watched
his discipline. Yeah, he's disciplined. Yeah,
A little bit like a little bit like Cunha as well.
Like Cunha, yeah, he's got that Cunha in him, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, they just got a little bit of fire, but which is good. But I don't know. I don't know if Arteta likes that. Arteta don't like players that have got characters.
Too challenging for
That's why
him.
he won't buy players with characters. Yeah,
it's too challenging. He needs hair flickers, Norms. That's what he needs. Hair flickers, you know.
He needs to. He needs to go outside. He can come. Tell him he can have Maguire and Lindelof.
Right, yeah, because that man love to flick
it. They love to flick and come over.
According to Ben, he's scored 30 plus goals in 70 games.
70 games.
That's what it is. So I mean, that's just kind of maybe off the top of his head. So yeah, if we can definitely confirm that or check that out, that'd be absolutely great. But look,
I'll tell you what he's
gone to Chelsea. 60 million, I think, is the fee that's been touted. Going to have his medical to join them up in the Club World Cup. So we'll see what happens there. But just before we get onto that, it is a kind of nice segue into us talking about Chelsea building a squad to challenge for the league or this season. I just want to flick back to the Odegaard and the Havertz situation, and that's what I was saying. Do you think that they're holding the club back, in your opinion? Looking in from inside out, do you think that we could do better in getting better players? I know what the problem. I mean, you've seen what Odegaard is on 240, and Kai Havertz is on 280. That's a whole lot of money.
Big money, man.
That's an awful lot of money. Look at that: 30 goals, 10 assists. He's one that can play across. He can play across the front three. Pedro. So I think it's a decent buy. I think it's a decent buy. Let me just go to here.
No, fair enough then. I didn't. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
I mean,
Chelsea. I know it's just because he does come off
dressing room again.
He does come off the bench a lot. Yeah, he does come off the bench a lot for Brighton. Now, this is what you look at this side, guys. Madueke on the left. Another Chelsea reject.
So is Gyökeres the striker you're more likely to sign? I thought it was Sesko.
Jay, people in the chat, if we knew, because we don't know, because 1 minute we're hearing that he's agreed on a 5-year and the deal is advancing. They've now dropped interest in Sesko. Then next week I'm hearing that they've dropped the price for RB Leipzig, so dropped the price. So. And the fact is, I think what they're saying is that whether it's true or not, that Berta's got both deals going at the same time, and then they're going to choose which one they're going to go for, who's the best one. Now, there's a lot of noise coming out that Gyökeres is going to be the man, but as I say, I'm not going to say anything in terms of until I see them holding up the shirt. That's it for me. You know what I mean? But I mean, if you look at this side now, on the screen, Madueke on the left, not I would rather maybe Rodrigo. You know, I mean, if we get Eze, the chances are Arteta will play Eze out on the left. Yeah, that's what he will do. Yeah,
he'll do. Yeah,
there's a Lookman. I mean, Martinelli. There's talk about him being linked with the Saudi league. If we get decent money for him, I mean, maybe that can fund one of the deals. You got Trossard.
But he still did a squad depth, Norm.
Sorry, Jay, could you mute your mic? Yeah. Say that again. Yeah. What was that again? D. D, what did you say? You just said something before. You said something before you heard the load of noise. You were saying something.
Oh no, the Eze instead of the Chelsea brother.
Yeah.
Madueke.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen.
But as well, the squad depth as well, no. Because you remember, you were on about last season when you look down the bench and you go, okay, we need to make some changes. Who do we? You know what I mean? Who do we?
Why do we
bring off the bench?
Why do we keep getting to Chelsea?
Yeah, that one is baffling to me. That one is baffling to me.
Again, it's another Chelsea player that we're going to go for. And if we do go and get him, that'll be 7 in 7 years.
And
I mean, it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good deal.
Change Gyökeres with him. Oh, change Gyökeres. Would you
for Nkuku?
Oh no, I see what why not is saying. He's saying that the likely loser will probably end up getting in Cuckoo playing up front.
With Cuckoo, right? Yeah.
But look, guys, in the chat, looking at this side, does that challenge for a title, or is it just a case of us finishing top 4? So you've got Saka on the right, Mudaweki, which I would probably want a Rodrigo there, but again, noise is coming out of Real Madrid. Is he coming? Is he not? I don't know. Again, don't know. It's just lots of noise after the Club World Cup. Apparently, he's not being played, and he wants to leave. Again, who do you believe? It's just a lot of noise at the moment. Yeah, smoke, but no fire. Yeah, I'm saying just loads of smoke, but no fire. And then you've got your Rice, your Zubimendi, that midfield, and Odegaard, and then obviously your back 4 of Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly, Timber, if he's fit, and Raya. So when you look at that side, does that fill you with fear? Oh my God, we are scary.
In terms of Gyökeres and Saka, like, yeah, you're not going to take that lightly. But if you have an Eze on that left, like that front three, that bad boy front three, that back 4 speaks for itself. You just got to, my concern then is Odegaard and Zubimendi. Declan gives you what he gives you, but say replace Madueke with Eze. That's a bad boy front three. The back 4 speaks for itself. Raya has his moments. Does Kepa come and displace him? Maybe not. I think again, like us, midfield is where like if we get a striker like you're hoping to get, midfield would be where you'd be more concerned.
Yeah, why not? It's saying it looks rigid. It looks rigid and it's lightweight. And I would say that definitely Odegaard does make that lightweight. Zubimendi, as I said, he's not played in the Premier League, so he's an unknown quantity in the Premier League. Yeah, so it's going to be a baptism of fire for him. I mean, if you add a Partey in there, then you say to yourself, "Oh, that looks different." You know, I must say, because that's just doing a 4-3-3. Looking at this, but you need strength and depth for real. You need strength and depth. So I couldn't care less who comes in. You have quality on the bench as well as obviously your first 11. But looking at this, top 4 is what Why Not is saying, and maybe the other people in the chat. It's a top 4 challenge. I don't think this challenge is for the title, personally speaking. Sorry, JP.
Sorry, I was going to say not last season, just gone. The one before that,
where we finished 2 points behind.
When you finished 2 points behind, you were really a solid side that year, right? And I think if you went back to being quite a solid side again, and you had goals to your team, then I think this team doesn't look that bad. I mean, I've never looked at the Arsenal team on paper and thought, "Oh, I'm scared of him." But you guys have been a really good team. And that's what's worked in your favour, how you've got to these second place finishes. So I think if you add goals to your team and you stay as a solid side, you've got a chance.
Well, look, Gyökeres could be that we've been calling out for a striker for a long time. So if you go back to the season where we finished 2 points behind Man City, and we, Kai Havertz had that little purple patch, but then we sort of fell away. Maybe if we did have a Gyökeres, then maybe we would have probably got it over the line. And then if you go back to the season when we were spent, how was it 90+% at the time up the top of the table?
That was the funniest season. That one was so funny, man. Sorry.
I just bring back bad memories, and then we drop a 8-point lead. So again, okay, yes, we lost Saliba and we brought in Holding. Yeah, so again, you're looking at strength and depth. You need to be able to. I mean, we're linked with this Mascara guy from Valencia. Yeah, I've not watched him, so I'm not going to say I know much about him. But you have got other influencers turning around and saying that, oh, he'd be a great addition and he's good at this and he's good at that, blah blah blah. He's quick. But I know people that have watched him and watched La Liga and actually can have a a sort of fair assessment of the guy to say, well, actually, he's okay, but he's not going to be, as people like to say, your floor or ceiling raiser. He's just not going to be that. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work to go. I mean, if we get the targets that we're looking at, so if say we did, which I can't see it happening, if we got a Rodrigo in, if we get the Gokaras in, I think the midfield now, I can't see them adding any more to the midfield. So he's gonna got Norgard in. Obviously, you got Moreno, but if Declan Rice gets injured, Norgard comes. Well, Moreno comes in, and I don't rate Moreno in midfield. And he spent half his time playing up front because we didn't have no striker. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So. You know what I mean? It doesn't fill me with. It'd be nice to see that we've got an out-and-out striker, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the midfield, Arteta has to be prepared. If you get an essay, Arteta has to be prepared to drop Odegaard. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He has to be prepared to do that. But will he do it? I don't think he will do it, and that's the problem. Odegaard has to step up this season.
No, because he thinks because if that's his captain, it's not a good look, is it?
No, it's
not.
Not.
Like dropping your captain, it would really mean that you're taking the armband off him as well. So he's not just losing his praise, he's losing the whole armband as well, which then opens up another can of worms that maybe unbalances the team. It depends on what the other players think of Odegaard as a captain as well, behind closed doors. So there's always that factor you got to look into.
Just wanted to pick up this on Ben. Ben, who's obviously a Liverpool support, he goes, looking at this season, he says, Josh gone, we only technically won it because of Salah. Would you agree with him on that? If Salah didn't play this season, would you think Arsenal would have challenged them more? Because there's this thing that, they're talking about injuries and stuff like that. You're essentially saying that Salah is a one-man team. Take Salah out of there and Liverpool were nothing.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because Liverpool have a world-class goalkeeper. They have a world-class centre-back in Virgil van Dijk. I'm not going to just put it down to Salah's goals or Salah's creativity. I think that would be because at the end of the day, it's a two-way game. It's not just a attacking game. You know what I mean? So to dismiss, you can't dismiss the spine. I think Liverpool's spine last season pretty much stayed fit most of the season. And that's a huge contribution to keep that spine of players of what, 5? Just to say that the spine is 4 to 5 players. If them 4 to 5 players perform and stay injury-free and suspension-free, then you've always got a good chance because they inspire everybody around them. Like you watch Van Dijk organise that back four, as well as Alisson organise that back four. You watch that, and then whoever's in midfield, the Argentinian brother McAllister. You saw what he brought to the table as well in terms of consistency. So
and also the Slot for me, Ben Taylor, Slot played a massive part in this. Slot definitely, because a lot of people had probably not heard of this guy. I mean, he did win a title final, but he came in. And a lot of people saying you ain't bought anybody. You bought what's his name? Is it Chiesa? You bought that's the only player bought, and I thought you bought a goalkeeper which you loaned back. Now for me, he's coming and he's properly coming and looked at that side. And there was a lot of talk like, we're assessing the side. There was a lot of talk during the summer pre-season that they're assessing the side to see what they need. And a lot of Liverpool fans were getting worried. We was pointing the fingers at them saying, if you don't get the players in, we could see them finishing. Well, we was supposed to be the title favourites alongside Man City. Man City obviously dropped off. But Liverpool, nobody challenged them. They literally walked the league and took their foot off the gas towards the end of the season. And that is down to and what he did with Gravenberch. What he did with Gravenberch at the 6. Absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? So I rate Slot. I'll take him any day.
Plus as well, he actually went away from that rock.
Just to say, JP had to drop off. So
drop off. Man, cool.
So,
cool, bro.
Big up to JP for coming on.
But what he did, Normie, he went away from the rock and roll football as well. because I think
That's right.
that
Yeah,
saved them in the injuries. Like they were getting a lot of injuries on the clock with that
yeah,
really gun
and I
ho
think
football.
gun football and the fact that Mo Salah at the age of 32, I think 31, 32,
Yes, yeah,
scoring 29 goals in the Premier League alone and 18
yeah,
assists. That is mad.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
levels, isn't it?
that
Pay the
is
man his
mad.
money.
That's low, right? And so
Yeah, pay the, as I say,
we
pay
was
the man
asking
his
the
money.
question exactly, but we was asking the question. You know, I mean, you know, he said he hasn't heard nothing from the club. You know, I mean, the only person that's left is Trent. So it was Van Dijk and him sorting out their contract situation, and it was kind of case. Well, you know, every after games he would be coming out and saying, "I'm not hearing anything." A lot of people saying he was disrespecting the company, to spit it out, and taking the focus away from the club and on him. But Slot managed it well, absolutely managed it well.
Yeah,
And you know, he just said to Salah, "You do your business at the front and leave me to sort out the likes of the defense and the midfield." And that
yeah,
Gravenberch was absolutely brilliant,
yeah.
absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
I'm trying to remember where they brought him from, though.
who was that?
Gravenberch.
Gravenberch.
I try to remember where he came from because
Gravenberch. Well,
it's not.
people,
Was he
was
he
it
really a household name like that? I think he's
not
come in
not
and just
not
really
not
proved himself. You
not
know what I
like
mean?
that.
I don't think
Not
a
like
lot
that. Because
are looking at
at
him. You know?
one point, I think at one point, they were ready to sell him.
Right?
Yeah, they were ready to sell Gravenberch. I can't remember what club he
Yeah,
came from. I can't remember where they bought him from. To be honest, again, Ben, if you could tell
yeah.
us where
But
you got him from,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. You see this Kirkus brother? I
Oh,
rate him,
sorry. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah,
and I think a lot of teams slept on this guy. He had a phenomenal season last season for the club he was playing for,
yeah.
and yeah,
Okay, Bayern. Okay, yeah,
Bayern.
Bayern.
So
Yeah, sometimes.
they've jumped on that. The thing is, I've got Liverpool fans, friends, already trying to play it down next season. And I get it.
Mm,
It's easier to win it than it is to go back to back. I totally get that. You know what I mean?
mm,
But
mm.
the moves they're making, no, there's no reason why. Even with City, how City spent, we just seen City trip up there in the World Club. It's just like, how did they lose that one?
Oh, yeah,
City
I
still
know
got that in them. Yeah,
that was a bit of a
I
shock.
mean, Pep was losing his mind. Now I'm hearing that Pep's missus has come back and everything. And I'm like, what? So Pep's got a bounce in his step. So Pep didn't expect to get bounced like that. He was
Yeah,
feeling
yeah,
himself. So I understand why he lost his mind a little bit. So I
yeah,
still think it's Liverpool's to lose next season with
yeah.
City being City. And then you're hoping that you do the right business, Norm, but for Arsenal to be in that conversation.
Mm, mm,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I mean, you know, but yeah. So yeah, Slot was definitely a big pivot. He had a big pivotal role in getting you guys Liverpool across the line, and obviously Salah being the main guy um, does the business, and so that's why you need to have a gunman, and that's why we need to go for someone like a Gokares, who is a gunman, who's a
yeah,
proven striker. And yes, people are going to turn around and say he's playing in the Portuguese league, which is a farmers league, and blah blah blah. As I always like to say, I wouldn't mind going over there and getting some of their crops. You know what I mean? If he's playing in the
exactly.
farmers league, you know what I mean? But he's doing what he's doing. If he comes to Arsenal, yes, it's a tougher league, but he's played in the Championship. I still think he bagged us 20 plus goals. I think he does. But I
Yeah,
think, you know what it is? I think the problem is just that I need Arteta to change his style of football. And I need him to go back to the way he was playing football in the 22-23 season. Yeah, that's what I need to happen. If he carries on playing
yeah,
this pragmatic handbrake football, then you know what I mean. It's what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? It's very pragmatic and it's very predictable.
yeah.
And teams work us out easy. Yeah, and he needs to learn to change things up. Yeah, his
Yeah.
in-game management. It's just doing like for like. Everything's like for like. Now change it up, man.
Yeah,
Change it
because
up, man. Do
it
something
makes the
different.
team look soulless, Norm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
When you got some great characters there, players, you're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so like I say,
Big up, big up, static man.
yeah, man. You
Big
have
up,
to
dude.
for Arsenal fans and for yourself, you have to look at next season as a literally make and break season for this manager now. Yeah. Especially if he gets his striker in.
Yeah.
He gets his striker in, he gets another attacking option. He's got no excuse, he's got nowhere to hide now.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
And you're watching Liverpool, the way Liverpool and Man City are strengthening.
Yeah, but you got Arsenal, ex-Arsenal players, saying that we're on a level playing field as it stands with Liverpool and Man City. Going to this new season, he can't tell the difference. He can't tell the difference between our team, Liverpool's team, and Man City's team. I'd like to know. I'd really like to know what he's smoking. I don't know if he went to Holland or what.
I'm not being funny. You guys don't have a Mo Salah. You don't have an Erling Haaland. Just for starters, forget about just those two players, like game changers.
Yeah, but D, what you also got to remember. I've just bent my leg and I start picked up crap.
That's funny.
Yeah, this is Arteta. This is the Arteta injury, man. You know what I'm saying? No, but what I'm saying is that they're saying that we are comparable now to what Man City players that they bought, the squad that they're building, the same with Liverpool. We're not. Not only that, we're going into a season where we've had major injuries to key players.
And
I said, come Christmas, you're going to see a couple of those players going down because Arteta likes to run these men into the ground. He needs to rotate and manage his side well. You must have a quality squad depth. Yeah. So when you buy well. Fix the bench. We've always talked about getting that bench fixed. The bench ain't fixed. He needs to go and fix that bench. Yeah, he doesn't have an identity or style of football. It's not. It's literally, and it's boring. It's absolutely boring. The teams will work us out. December says, Blunderman designed a system of play that destroyed the cup winning side, and any player he buys as nobody's playing in the position they were bought to play in. That's what he does. Any players that he buys, he doesn't buy them for the position. How can you have a natural left back who's now gone to Celtic, but you're playing Miles Lewis-Skelly there? That's not his natural position. Miles Lewis-Skelly plays as a 6 or an 8. Yeah. You decided to play him instead of Calafiori because Calafiori is always injured, who's a left-sided centre back. Yeah? Timber came in and started off as a left back, got the ACL injury. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
When he came up from injury, Ben White was out because of his knee. He moves Timber over to the right side. And obviously by accident, he's done well over there because that's what happens. When Arteta does things, it's not by design. It's just everything just happens by accident.
Yeah.
When it comes to players playing in their position. Yeah. Ben White is actually a right centre back, but Saliba's come in, so he had to play Ben White at right back. And Ben White did okay in that right back position, but Saliba now is occupying that position. Then you buy Kai Havertz as a number 8. Where does Kai Havertz play now? Yeah. He plays now as your out-and-out striker.
Yep.
And we all love the invincible Tomiyasu. Yeah. 6 minutes last season for us. Don't see him again.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? Man is under 100K a week.
Sounds like leeching at this.
Yeah. So he ain't going to be back until the end of this season. End of 2025. Same with Gabriel Jesus. Yeah, they won't be back at that. So Gabriel Jesus.
So you can't even move them on in terms of injuries.
Gabriel Jesus. Yeah, Gabriel Jesus has got. He's contracted to 2027.
Yeah,
and Tomiyasu is contracted to 2026. So, it might be that he might run his contract down. Yeah, he might run his contract down, Tomiyasu.
Yeah,
and it'll probably be the same because nobody's going and buying them players. Not with the wages that they're on and the injury that they've had over the.
Yeah,
you think about the time that they've come to Arsenal, the amount of injuries. He's had 4 surgeries on both, separate surgeries on each knee. You know what I mean?
That's a lot. I'm surprised he's still playing. Yeah, I'm surprised he's still playing. I'm surprised the doctor ain't told him to call it a day.
Yeah.
And you just get medically retired.
And I think, and he's not going to listen. You're on 265 a week, right? He's going to say, I'll run my contract down. That's what will happen because he says if we're going to try and get rid of him, I think what will happen is that come January, if he's fit, we'll just try and play him, yeah, but then try and sell him in that summer. But he'll still have a year left on his contract. We'd have to probably sell him to somebody in Brazil or something like that, or you just hope that one of the Saudi guys come in for him. I'm talking about Gabriel Jesus. I'm just talking about him. But yeah, so this is what we got. This is what we're facing. Going into this window, it's not. We talked about when the season finished, Arteta saying he's having goosebumps and all of that, and everybody's rubbing their hands together, thinking, come the beginning of June, we're going to see that striker sign. We're going to hear Zubimendi. We're going to hear Zubimendi is there. We still don't know whether he's signed or not. Yeah, because he was meant to be. We were meant to, because Real Sociedad, there's this situation with Real Sociedad that we can't name the player or to say whatever because of their financial situation. So we're still waiting on that to happen. I think it's over the line, but it probably won't get. So we've announced Kepa already. Obviously they're working on a Norgard situation, so that should be done at some point. But really and truly, it should have been go and get Gyökeres, go and get an Eze, and if you're ambitious enough, go and get a Rodri. Or if so, go and get Gyökeres and Sesko. But we're not like that. We're not that kind of club to do that. You understand? And as I said, the conundrum is the fact that you've got Kai Havertz there and he's not ready to drop that guy. Yeah, and that's the problem. So it's going to be interesting if we do get Gyökeres over the line. It's going to be interesting going into the season to see what he does, because he either drops in midfield.
You see, Gyökeres, right? Yeah. He was talking about guarantees, as in wherever he goes, he's starting and probably commanding whatever shirt number he wanted, 10 or 9. I can't remember now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So straight away, that's the factor in transfer windows where one, you're paying a decent amount of money, because remember, Sporting still haven't really come out concretely and said we want 75k for him or whatever it is. So even if teams have spoken to him and he's happy with his personal terms, no one knows what the actual transfer fee is going to be. So if you're paying anything upwards of 70 to 75 million for this guy, he's a guaranteed starter and he's picking his shirt number as well. So
yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? I think this is the problem that we're going to have, because he's going to be saying, okay, if you sit down in front of me, I'm the sporting director, you're going to ask questions like, right. You want me? Am I going to start?
Exactly.
What's the situation?
That's the first thing I'm asking.
What's the situation with Kai Havertz? What's the manager saying about him? Can you give him guarantees? Because when Sesko came, they could get the guarantee for him to start. And even if Sesko comes now, he'd be on rotation. But why are you paying nearly £70 million for this guy? Yeah. Sesko I'm talking about. Yeah. Who's going to be a project player. He's probably going to be on about 150k a week, if maybe near the 200. And you're not going to play him? Right. You're gonna rotate him. So at what point? You know what I mean? So we have the situation where people are saying that Sesko and Gyökeres do not come in and upstage Kai Havertz, which is absolutely crazy.
I think if that's the case,
why bother?
It's not going to buy him, is he? Or they're not going to want to come. Well, like I said, there's definitely going to be, especially with Gyökeres, there's definitely going to be guarantees.
Yeah, but then from him, all we've just been fed then, is just a load of cordwood up. Yeah, that's what it is.
Which is unfortunate, Norms.
Yeah, because this is it. You go through the summer hoping and praying. Every minute something comes up on, if it's not on Twitter or X, if it's not in Sky News, if it's not on this, blah, 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 we're close to signing this, blah, blah, blah. He wants to come to us. And then at the end of it, we lose both of them and we end up with Calvin Lewis.
Calvin Lewis. Oh, yeah, he's a free, isn't he? Calvin Lewis, man.
You know what I mean?
He's going to roll up in that skirt and them sandals, mate. You know what I mean, Norms?
Blunderman came into Arsenal as the genius of the future. What's your thoughts after this? You don't want to know. I wanted this guy out after his third game in charge, after the way this guy was breaking unnecessary records back then. At one point, we were sitting in 20th position under this manager. Yeah. We then come in, we hear this story that he's come in and he's taking the team from hell, taking them from 8th. He put us in 8th place twice. Yeah, he put us in 8th place twice, and not only that, we bottled top 4, right, in his 3rd season. Yeah, which was Tottenham. Yeah, so Tottenham beat us the top 4, and we finished 5th. Then
I remember
we had
that. I remember
that anomaly.
Yeah.
We had that anomaly season where we bottled 8-point league because people didn't have us even getting in the top 4, and we stayed at the top of the league for 90+% of the time, only to bottle it. And then the following year, you know, there was that thing of, right, okay, there's an expectation of us then to push on. Yeah, we didn't do it. We didn't get another striker. We've not had another striker, a proper striker, since Aubameyang. Right, when they got rid of him. So that's
he forced him out.
that's the position that we're in at the moment. It seems like he doesn't like attacking players. He doesn't like players that have a bit of character about them, and that's the problem that's holding us back. So yes, after 6 years, he's been a failure. Yeah, he's the nearly man. Yeah, it's now time to now move the nearly man out the way and go and get in a proper manager that will get this team over the line, and that's all we're asking for. Yeah, but they will make excuses for this manager, Teflon Arteta. Yeah. Oh, if it's not the PGMLO, if it's not the referee, if it's not injuries, blah blah blah, you can name it, the ball, the shape of the ball. Yeah, this guy will make up excuses, and he knows. And this is what I'm saying: the chickens are coming home to roost this season. Yeah, people are not happy with Berta because they thought change would have come in when he come in. It's taking a bit of time, and he's coming to a mess. Yeah, he's coming to a complete mess with the wages. Players that are coming back from loan, he's got to sell those players, and it's difficult to sell those players when they're on high wages and they're injury prone. So you've got all of that to deal with, and plus, you know, the fans are putting pressure on us getting a striker. So give him the tools. Bert, I think, will give him the tools and says, "Right, Arteta, get on with it. We've got our first 6 games. If we don't, 18 points. If we don't win at least 4 of those games, and we drop 10 points this season, that's it. We're out of the title race, and it's whether the owners are going to act. That's the question. Is whether the owners are going to act. But I just want to kind of finish with the last thing, and just quickly just run this because we've been going for over 2 hours. We kind of touched on it a little bit with Pedro coming into the club for Chelsea. Is Chelsea building a squad, D? In terms of, you know, Fab Ez is not on. He's signing himself away in Trelawney, but he's having a great time
like Jamaica, massive.
You know, Jamie Gittens is looks like he's gonna be done. William Estevao from Palmeiras, João Pedro from Brighton, which is pretty much over the line. Liam Delap, which they've already bought. Giovanni Quenja, and I think they're looking at Guy Nacho, and there's a couple of other players they're linked with. I think if push comes to shove, I don't know if they're still linked with Osherman. Do you think they're building a squad to challenge for the league this season, or is it going to just be another case of spend loads of money, flip them, get good money for them, and just be another top 4 contender? They won the Conference League, so they've got a trophy. They've completed that European trophy thing. Now. Is it now time for Chelsea now to push on?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially if they do go out and get a striker to put Jackson. I can't remember his name. That was it. Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson.
Tito. Yeah, man, Tito. To put Tito under pressure there. Obviously they've gone with the Ipswich guy, Delap. Is Delap first choice striker? Not for me.
No.
Still learning the trade. So that's why I think he probably jumped the gun down in there, because he could be third choice striker. If they only go with the lone striker, which most teams do now. So I look at that. If they go out and get a striker like we're all looking for, then, you know what I mean. If Reece James can stay fit, which has really been a tall order for him, I think he's a quality defender, but just his injuries, I think they have a squad to compete for sure.
I mean, their midfield is good.
Do they push? Yeah, but you know, do they push? Do they push you, Liverpool and Man City? I'm not convinced. But I wouldn't run that either. I just think you get that one striker, then you'll have 3 striking options, which always puts pressure then on performance. If you know you can be replaced with a Jackson or a Delap, then there's pressure there. And then the midfield, can't say that when them man's Enzo, them boys can ball. You look at their goalkeeper, is that probably their weakest link? The goalkeeper?
Yeah, I think if they sort out the goalkeeper and maybe sort out the defence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You look at that and you say, yeah, Chelsea can be there or thereabouts. But a
lot of people look at the spend that they've done, and a lot of people ask the question: how is it that they can keep spending and doing the spend that they're doing? I mean, listen,
they sell well.
They sell well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's
every season they're selling. How often does Ez come on here just telling us, bruh, we just sold this one for 30, that one for 45, this one for 35. You're like, bro, you're just selling mans. We can't even give mans away on loan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I can't even not the Chelsea model. We laughed at the 8 and 9 year contracts from Todd Bowley, but it works for them, especially when they can sell on the younger players. Some have never even broken into the first team, and they get like 25 million for them. You know what I mean? We're probably going to give Sancho away for less than 20 million now. Now we've got the 5 million back from Chelsea. So I look at that and say they do business. When we mock the model, they still do great business. So if they strengthen in those positions, like I said, yeah, they're going to be there or thereabouts on being a handful.
So it's just more of a case of you don't see them push. I know. As said, obviously the transfer window ain't finished yet, and I can absolutely believe him. Yeah. So
plus they get
It says don't push me on it. Yeah, that's what you said in the chat on our other chat. He said I'm gonna see after the summer transfer window.
Yeah.
And obviously once they do their spend and whatever and they might get in another 2 or 3 players because they've just been linked with a lot of players. And the thing is, the fact that they're linked with a lot of players and the fact that they can say, right, we like him, we're gonna get him. I mean, already they've done 5 players.
But no, they're out in this World Cup. They've got to the quarterfinals, right? They reckon if they go ahead and win the whole thing, it's close to 100 mil now in prize money.
Yeah,
that's money that they never had to reinvest. Right, to reinvest back into already a well-selling club.
Right.
Boom.
So
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? So I think they've got in Delap and they've got in this João Pedro, but he's a guy that can. You're paying 60. Are they paying 60 million for this guy to come off the bench and do whatever he does, or is he going to be a first team?
For me, because I actually think they started over Jackson.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, I think they started over Jackson.
I mean, you know, they want to go
until he gets injured or suspended.
They want to got Neto. They got Neto from Wolves. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
You know, I'm trying to say
another good player now.
Yeah,
another very good player.
So I mean, he didn't do brilliantly. Just gone season gone. It was kind of hit and miss, to be honest. But the fact is that they're spending lots of money on players, and I think if it doesn't work, you know, you're seeing them get rid of them within a year, 2 years.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm trying to say? So they can do that, and they know they can get money for them. Whereas with Arsenal, with Man United, it's just a struggle to sell these players.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because I think for us, I would have hoped at least two of what we're considering surplus to requirements or deadwood would have been out the window by now. Actually getting ready to join their teams on pre-season pause or whatever, wherever they go.
Yeah, I was going to say, is for you, you know, I think it will always be a drawn-out saga with not Sancho, with Rashford. Because, yes, again, I think, is it Barcelona said that they would take him on loan? Was it?
See, everyone wants to do this with us, Norm.
It's a loan thing they want to do.
We'll loan him. This how I see the scenario. We'll keep loaning him till he's out of contract and then leave for free, Norm.
Yeah, but the guy's loaned. He's what's it, contracted to 2028.
I know, but it just feels like no one's going to shell out what we. I mean, we only want 40 million. Not being funny, it's monopoly money, you know, in terms of football. It's not like I get it. If we was asking 80 million for Rashford, I'd actually get it.
But is he prepared to take a? Is he prepared to take a wage cut?
Apparently, only for Barcelona.
Right.
So if he goes on loan, does he take a pay cut? No, because you're not going to pay half of that money So he'll go there on loan, not take a pay cut. But if he goes there on a permanent deal, he'll take a pay cut. The whole thing's farcical, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the manager's already written him off now. So where's the comeback? After the JP, there's no coming back for him.
So
you can't have this guy.
You got Sancho, you got Rashford, and you got
Anthony
Garnacho.
And Garnacho.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the players that he pretty much doesn't want in his side.
Yeah, he didn't want Anthony either. That's 4.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought there.
So that's 4 attacking players now.
Jeez.
And we just bought in Cunha. So he got 4 attacking players banished, and we bought in 1 on the 2nd or 3rd or whatever it is. You know what I mean? I'm looking at that saying, bro, whether you sit down with the board and say, listen, I need these 4 gone. I need the Mbemo. Just go do the Mbemo deal that allows us to look at a striker.
But is it that they're hoping to? That's why I think the Mbemo thing. They're saying close, but what is really close? Are they waiting to maybe get rid of one of those players to free up some money to say, right, we can go with the Mbemo deal? Because at the moment, it seems like that's how it feels, at the moment.
But I'm hearing the money's there, no. They just don't want to agree to the payment terms that Brentford want. Just agree to the terms, because you've just isolated 4 players now that are first teamers.
But like we said, D, you've got this thing where the amortization of when they pay the fee over their contract. Yeah. So for argument's sake, obviously Rashford wasn't bought, but he's on high wages. So the players that you have bought, like Højlund, you're paying that contract over X amount of years. Who else have you bought that's quite Anthony? You spent quite a lot of money on him.
Yeah.
Amortization on that as well. Who else have you sort of spent a lot of money on? Casemiro? Or is he how long has he got?
Yeah, Kaz has still got. He's still got next. I think next year is his last year.
Okay.
If not, he's either got 2 years or next season. He's a free agent in the summer. Yeah, I think Kaz has the option of the 1 where they could in January trigger the 1, and then because you have to, and I think this is what hurts as well. Having to pay 95 million in the summer window in payment plans before we bought a single player, that hurts. And then, like I said to JP, we should have gone undisclosed for Cunha, because now they just said, okay, so Jim just told us we got 95 million going out, and you just burned 62 million on Cunha. That means your man got money. Stop lying to us. So now no one's saying, they finished 15th, man. They're struggling penny-wise. Yeah, go on then, you can take him for that. No, they just saw you pay 95 and 62 off the bat, and you've already bought 1 player in. So we've mugged ourselves off. I know it's hard to contain the transfer fee, because the way the press are on it, there's always club leaks, and no one leaks like the way we leak when it comes to information at the club. It's got better under Ineos, but it still leaks out there, no. So I look at that and say, everyone knows that we spent money so far and only brought 1 player. 100 and what is that? What, 160 million nearly? 160 million, 165 million, and 1 player to show for it, between payment plans and the actual player coming in. So get the Obama 1 done, get at least 2 of them gone, 2 gone, 2 on loan, Norm. That's how I see it. Get Sancho and Garnacho gone. You're going to have to loan out Rashford and Anthony, because Anthony doesn't want to come back. So loan him back to Real Betis for another season and see how that works out, Norman. Hopefully they can generate the money to buy him out. Obviously, a year older, it'll be a little bit cheaper to get him gone. But I don't see us doing 3-4 sales with them 4 players. I think 2 get sold, 2 get loaned out.
Yeah, because I'm not even hearing no noise on our side about who we're getting rid of. I mean, it's just we seem to be getting all these deals on the go, but you know, the fact that Zinchenko, AC Milan were looking at him. There was a fee of 20 million was touted, or 15 million was touted, but then they're looking at his wages. He's on 150k a week.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of putting off potential suitors. Then you know, you got Fabio Vieira, who's just come back on loan from Porto. We paid £35 million for this geezer. Yeah.
Right.
Are we gonna sell him for decent money? I doubt it very much. Yeah,
Right.
we haven't got much assets. When I say we haven't got much assets to sell at the moment, sellable assets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, in the terms of like, Fabio Vieira, Lokonga, we haven't. Now, Martinelli might be the sacrificial goat. He might have to be that sacrificial goat. Do you know what I mean? Because I think we bought him for 7 million. I think we sell him for 50, 60 million. That's a decent amount of profit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then hopefully Berta will invest that back in there. But I'm not hearing no sales, D. I'm not hearing no sales. And we was told that we had the talk was we had a 300 million pound war chest.
War chest,
It doesn't sound like it at the moment. It really doesn't sound like it. We just seem to be, just trying to quibble here, trying to get that one down, trying to get that buyout clause, down, clear up payments, and it don't seem, any closer. But yet we go and spend 5 million on Kepa, right? If those deals were done after we got in those top targets, then I wouldn't be moaning.
Yeah.
I'd be fair play, you've done it, but you've gone and got these guys, and we're still haggling with Sesko, we're still haggling with Gokares. Then Eze's linked, Rodrigo's linked, this one's linked, and you're just like, really? Come on, man, what's going on? You know what I mean? But it is what it is. The assemble said, can you see anything in Blunderman that would keep him? Now, Blunderman could be Amorim, but I'm sure you're talking about Arteta. No, I've tapped out on this guy now. I think just his old attitude, just the way he doesn't speak truth. Man speaks with forked tongue, and I just don't like him as a manager. Yeah, and I just think he's just arrogant, and it's all about him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And last season really hit the nail on the head for me with him. And soon I see the back of him, and I'm hoping that I don't want to go into the season saying I want to lose games. That's not what I'm about. But I think the way things are going and the way we're doing things, and if he continues to play the way he's playing, and continue to do business and operate the same way he operated last season, then let's just make this thing quick. Yeah. But give him the rope, get that cheese wire back out again, because at the moment that cheese wire has been put in that drawer and I ain't seen it in action. You understand what I'm saying? Kadeen says there's 2 transfer winners this year. After the Club Cup, we'll see things kick on. So let's see. That's what the talk is. Once the World Cup, Club Cup is out the way, things are gonna push on. But then, you're nearing, the season. The season starts in 45 days' time. The guys go out on their season tour on the I think 17th or 18th for this month.
Yeah, because what they're back in the training on Monday. Is it Monday?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Martinelli, 180k a week wages. No one will buy him, and there are many Arsenal players on street. Yeah, it's that. That is simply. What's that noise? that is the problem. That is the problem. Too many players on high wages, and that's becoming a bit of a burden around our necks. Irvin R saying, have any signs been confirmed? Not seeing anything online. Just lots of talk, lots of smoke, no fire. Yeah, lots of smoke, no fire. Arteta collects Chelsea bin bag. Yep, I don't know if you see. There's this thing where there's a dump truck, right, and the dump truck is Arsenal, and you just see the black bags, which are Chelsea players.
I saw it. Yeah,
man, 90 million pounds spent on rejects, man. And of those rejects, 65 million of that was spent on our IVATs. We need to sort it, D. We need to sort it. But listen, some people say be patient, but you can't be patient. You can't stop. You can't stand still. Not in this window. Yeah, they might say, listen, it doesn't close until the end of September. But you're looking at the likes of Man City, you're looking at the likes of Liverpool, snapping up those targets that where we could have gone for. Now they've got them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Why couldn't we have gone in for Florian Wirtz? Why couldn't we have gone in for Kirkus? Why? The Kirkus deal was doable.
Very much so.
Why couldn't we go for Turkey? Lyon's ended up being relegated. He was
Right.
Man City paid 30+ million for him.
Just dive straight in there.
You know what I mean? And
Straight on
there
it.
we
Yeah.
are. And then you wonder why we pay over the odds, and you wonder why we give high wages, because we're not an attractive club no more. D. You know what I mean? When you're, as a footballer, you're looking at Inzaghi, if you're looking at Luis Enrique, and you had a choice to choose between playing for these managers, who are you going to play for?
Yeah, exactly.
Enrique, Inzaghi, or Arteta?
Exactly. One of them.
One of either the two. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have that pull. He doesn't have this. It's talking about having a different knock. There's no different knock. There's no knock at all. There's no door. Yeah. Yeah. You just let them all in. There's no knock. You let them all in, you give them all the high wages, and you look in the bang average players. That's what you do. And this is where we're at the moment. And I'm just, it's just every, the thing about it, I go on other people's streams, yeah, and I keep saying, I sound like a scratch record, but we have to call out those top gooners. We got to call out those top journalists that write for Arsenal and do what they do, and call out the mediocrity. It's not acceptable. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here for high standards. I remember the Arsenal of old. If somebody had told me in 2004 that we would not win another Premier League, I'll say, you're joking. You're lying. You were lying. You liar. That's what I'll be saying. You lie. Why you lie?
Yeah.
But this is what it is, D. This is what it is. Both our clubs, as somebody said earlier, we're like a balloon ready to pop, a massive balloon ready to pop.
Yeah.
That's what we are. You know what I mean? That's what we are right now. And it's a shame that, you know, we've got down to the 11. And to be honest, yes, people say they'd rather be in our position than be in your position, because you've gone through some hell, you know, in the last 2 seasons. 10 Hag.
Oh yeah, hell, and no European football to show up the money. No, people say it's Man United, they don't need the money, but yeah, I think every club needs the money.
I mean,
you say relevant sustainability.
Yeah, you still got the pull because you're Man United.
Yeah,
you're still, you know what I mean, you still got that pull. But I say that, and I then sound hypocritical by then saying, well, or contradictory, should I say, then by saying that players are probably coming in and going, well, after that season that you've had, you know what I mean, and looking at Ruben with side eye, do you know what I mean? The mess that's going on, you know, with you guys on and off the pitch.
Yeah.
Are they going to weigh up the odds? You know what I mean? Some people say Cunha only went there for the money. Is that going to be the same for Bremo? I don't know. Or are these guys?
It's funny you say that, because
take you over the line.
Because that deal with Cunha was done back in January. So he wouldn't have known where we would have finished. He knew that we would have been finishing low. So he already knew there was probably the likelihood of European football was going to be in the Europa League final. So even after that final, he could have just said, I lost the final, not in Europe, allow it. You know what I mean? There's still an option there for him to pull out. If he pulled out, nobody would really hold it against him. Maybe certain players, people at the club that were working on the deal, but in general, I don't think the fan base would have held it against him if he went elsewhere or decided. You know, I'm not saying he wouldn't have stayed at Wolves. He wanted to move from Wolves. I think that was an understanding. That's why that's why the deal was so easy to do now, because the deal was already done way before the season. So whether you want to say he came for the money, or he lacks ambition, knowing that they weren't going to be in Europe unless they won the one tournament. So it was literally a Russian roulette to whether we beat Tottenham or not. And Tottenham had already beaten us 3 times already in the season, in the various leagues and in the league games and whatever cup it was, the FA Cup, I think it was, or whatever. So, yeah, he just fancies United, you know what I mean? I'm okay with that. And we hope that he can control his temperament and do what he has to do for us. But that's all we can ask for, you know? So, yeah.
Well,
but Norms, I
know, but jeez.
I know. I just saw the time there. It's like, rah.
Listen, mate. Listen. You don't get you don't want to.
Just getting into it, innit? When you get into it, you forget about time, innit?
And listen, big up to you, man. Really, thank you.
Yeah, man, big up
to JP.
Nice one, mate.
Big up for JP for coming on. And also big up to the chat. Been great, brilliant chat.
Yeah, great.
Go today. Again next week. I will be on the Bruce Banana show tomorrow with Shane Guna.
Cool.
Not too sure what time that is. I think it's 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I will be on that show tomorrow. So looking forward to that. But yeah, guys, you've been great. Big up to everybody in the chat. Thank you for coming. Please, if you go out, hit that like button, share it around as much as you can. On the road to 800, slowly getting there.
Yeah, big up, man.
But big up to the chat. Really,
yeah, man.
Respect you guys, and yeah, we're out of here. Take care, and
yeah, man. Take care, guys.
God bless.